could take your pain and turn it into pleasure. Into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. Just say that you'll be, say that you'll be. I'd be there for you whenever you need me. Whenever you need me. But you've been holding back. Maybe you're just not ready. Baby, do you feel the same? Or do you feel the pressure? I promise I can take your pain and turn it into pleasure. Into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too.
Deep minds, we were forced to be alone. Unknowns and nowhere is the same. And even when it seems like there's no way out, we'll grow a little closer. Through water we flow. All of us together, we're good, we flow. Nothing is the same, but I won't hold back. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. 'Cause we're better together. Better as one. 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 Deep minds, we were forced to be alone. Unknowns and nowhere is the same. Grow a little closer, through water we flow. All of us together, we're good, we flow. Nothing is the same, but I won't hold back. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. Cause we're better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one.
why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. Why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. So why did you say goodbye?
Ain't nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. We got nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. Ain't nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. We got nothing stopping us now. Ain't nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. We got nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. Ain't nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. We got nothing stopping us now. Ain't nothing stopping us now. Keep running, we coming. We got
could take your pain and turn it into pleasure. Into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. Just say that you'll be, say that you'll be. I'd be there for you whenever you need me. Whenever you need me. But you've been holding back. Maybe you're just not ready. Baby, do you feel the same? Or do you feel the pressure? I promise I can take your pain and turn it into pleasure. Into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too.
Deep minds, we were forced to be alone. Unknowns and nowhere is the same. And even when it seems like there's no way out, we'll grow a little closer. Through water, we flow. All of us together, we're good, we flow. Nothing is the same, but I won't hold back. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. 'Cause we're better together. Better as one. 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 Deep minds, we were forced to be alone. Unknowns and nowhere is the same. Grow a little closer, we're water, we flow. All of us together, we're good, we flow. Nothing is the same, but I won't hold back. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. Cause we're better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one. Better together. Better as one.
goodbye. It's better to say goodbye. Why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. So why did you say goodbye? Quiet like the ocean, with the rumble running deep. This is how I see you, when you hide your feels from me. Why you heavy-hearted? Cut the silence, talk to me. Release your mind, get what you need. Easily, we've been falling in disbelief. I think I'm ready for another try, but this feels like the last time. So why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. Why did you say goodbye?
Move the work and I'm out of here. Murder the tune, it's a body here. Reviving the beat, then it's right back to sleeping. I use a technique that they got me here. Whoa. I'm 10 feet ahead of you. Catch me in something you'll never do. I turn around.
Goes down and now Wall Street bets the go calls being made as they straight up.
It's incredible. It's how it feels at the
Enough
top.
amount of time to try and make it in. Now it's all down to the final two men up. Dope. They have all the players.
I give it. Look at my
Stuck
eyes.
in one singular spot, getting the rest of the Xenox. Like, this is the last fight.
I got a lot on the line. Fish with a different approach. Wanna spend time in the boat.
Oh, Glory Gaming, they'll be huge for elimination points, I think. What's up, everybody, and welcome here to another day of PUBG Mobile Pro League North America. I'm your host, Todd Chooks. I hope you guys are ready for a heck of a show we got for you today. Of course, this show couldn't be done without none other than Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner here for the PMPL. Unleash the beast. And I hope you guys have been unleashing it all week long by using that hashtag PMPLNA every time you're interacting with us on the socials, on Twitter, when you're using it in the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. Well, we got a lot to talk about, so let's not waste any more time. Of course, let's bring in none other than the Seven Worlds Gaming and the legend Sandstorm. What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. A lot of surprises yesterday. Knights making a comeback. I'm feeling being the most dominant team we have ever seen in NA, at least for one day. How are you doing, Coach?
Hella excited for today's games just because we've finally seen some of the teams showing up again on day 3. So now we got to bring up the most important thing. Is the consistency going to be there in day 4, or are they going to be going back into that slump that we've seen in day 1 and day 2?
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall leaderboard so we can see where everybody is standing here after the past few days. And APHELION Esports all the way up top have more points than the Knights, and back-to-back combined. This squad came relatively out of nowhere and have just been dominating here pretty much all day, 7.
Yeah, 72-point lead for them, 6 chicken dinners. So nobody even comes close. I think, Sandstorm, you said this too. More chicken dinners than all the teams combined on this first page. And that is just absolutely ridiculous to me. Yesterday, they almost ended up with a sweep. And what I mean by that, if for some reason you missed yesterday, first of all, you should go back and watch it and then come back to this one and just be reminded that they almost won every single match that they played on, except for the last match that they actually got a chance to play. The Panthers had a big fall off yesterday. We are going to be talking about these teams a little bit more. But if we actually go down even more, Nova Esports, 107 points for them. Ace of Spades, 213. And then Knights, there was a big question mark the first 2 days in regards to Knights. What was happening with that team? Well, guess what? Coops finally decided to show up. The squad decided to show up, and they are within that first page. Back-to-back, they had a huge drop-off yesterday. And I mean, talking about consistency, a team that we were hoping to continue its consistency, Sandstorm, Dope Esports, they stopped that consistency that we were seeing out of them.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to Dope on that third day of the tournament, but we definitely want to see their resurgence, especially with the fact that they are going to be competing for that top 12 spots that'll get them to play that extra match in Livik. As you can see, the scores are very, very close with them, and WALLSTREETBETS only 1 point difference, HQA not that far behind, and then you can start to see a little bit of a point difference. HITLIST with 72, Execute getting their chicken dinner as well yesterday, I believe, on Miramar. Now they have 71 points, but we want to go down to that third and crucial page, the teams that are struggling towards the last 2 days of the first week. Angry Amateurs 61, they're still close enough, but if you go down, Korean Barbecue Lovers 53, 4 Bros 46 points only, and Most Wanted 44. So I think for these bottom tier teams, if they do not perform today, Hot Jukes, I don't think they'll be able to make it up tomorrow and still compete for the top 12 spots.
I'm just gonna say, look, if Carnage was on Korean Barbecue Lovers, they'd be on the first page. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna say that one time. But the rest of the squad, you know, hopefully we could see them be able to make it happen here today. I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding, right? Well, let's talk about the next team that we got on top, because of course, let's do a little comparison between APHELION Esports and the Panthers, the top 2 squads that we've seen here so far today. Take a look at their stats and compare. I mean, that's really the only 2 teams we can compare against APHELION. See, 5th average place. That doesn't seem right. I mean, they won almost like what, every single game yesterday, Seven?
Almost. Okay, almost. And I just add, they have won pretty much half, if not more, of the games that they have actually gotten a chance to play. And the reason why is actually 5th place is because when this team is not winning, yes, they have ended up with the 2nd place, 3rd place, but usually they end up with 13th place, 10th place, 10th place, 11th place. So that's the up and down. They need to find a good middle ground in regards, if they're not winning, at least try to maintain yourselves within the top 5 or at least top 7 that we've been seeing out of this team. I do got to give some props, though, for APHELION Esports. I mean, Trick has been on an absolute tear. Yesterday, my man was able to put up 14 elements, 496 damage. And a big step up for this team, to a big question mark for the first 2 days for me. And yesterday, I was hoping that he would actually be able to shine. Clown, he went from averaging 72 damage per game to now being able to average 295 damage per game, and we saw him being able to clutch up in a big way. Now let's go to the opposite side, the Panthers. Yesterday it was a lackluster performance from this team. I mean, if we go back to day 2, Chico ended up performing really well, 14 ilms. He ended up winning that MVP, but yesterday Chico ended up with 0 ilms and 81 damage average. Like that's what happened there. And sandwich, it wasn't just Chico, by the way, it was also Freddy. 0 ilms, 122 damage. Luckily, Fierce did end up getting at least 3 ilms. Hopefully today we can see the Panthers that we saw in the first 2 days. I really want to see that aggressiveness. I want to see the team that wasn't scared to take it on fights, and everybody was on point too. I want to see Chico maybe try to hint that at that MVP now that Coops is on the running too.
Oh, baby, Chico making big things happen here. And today is that day, because those bonus points are going to come. I mean, they're ridiculously huge in the finals with this new entire setup here. So you want to get as many as you possibly can. And if the Panthers want to catch up to APHELION, they have to have a monster day today. Now, other teams that need to definitely have a monster day, we're looking at back-to-back and Ace of Spades, Sandstorm. I know this is 2 squads that you wanted to take a close look at, so why don't you go ahead and break them down for us?
Yeah, Ace of Spades, back-to-back. Both these teams actually have very good performances when it comes to Miramar. When you look at Ace of Spades, these guys average 23 placement points when it comes to Miramar, and you compare their elimination points as well, they managed to bag 24 elims. You look at Erangel, they only managed to get 8. You look at Sandhawk, they only managed to get 11 elims so far. And looking towards today, we don't really have that many Miramars. There's only just the 1. So they have to be able to perform on every single one of those maps. And the same thing can be said for the side of back-to-back. They only managed to get 6 elims in 3 Sandhawk games. And that is not the performance that you want to see from the back-to-back champions of PMPL North America. And looking towards today's games, you're talking about 3 Erangels that both these teams are going to be participating in. And back-to-back, their performance is they are 16th in terms of placement points and elimination points compared to the other 19 teams competing with us in the games for this tournament. So they really have to step it up. They really have to show up in today's games if they want to Show us what they're made of. We want to see where is the back-to-back. Where are the previous champions of North America? Because we haven't seen them after, what, maybe a couple of performances in day 2? Other than that, they've really been dying down compared to, I guess, the other tournaments. So they really have to wake up. We really have to see something from these guys today, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, definitely. I think them and quite a few other squads really kind of got to get it done here today, because a lot of expectations have been running on the back on these teams, but who knows? Maybe it's overconfidence. Maybe it's an off day. We can speculate all day long, but at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. So we got to see them numbers step up now. Speaking of numbers, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the top players so far? Remember yesterday, I think we saw the Panthers had kind of wiped the whole board. That has changed big time now. You see 2 members of APHELION Esports up here, and Coops, rightfully so, Sandstorm.
Yeah, Coops showed up massively yesterday for the Pittsburgh Knights. You're talking about day 1 performance, only 4 elims, 1.5k damage. Day 2, only 3 elims with about 460 damage throughout the day. But day 3 yesterday, absolutely incredible performance. 17 eliminations, 3.3k damage, 1.1k damage higher than second place throughout the day. That is absolutely insane to see. And we also have to bring up APHELION Esports. When we saw the performance in day 1 and day 2, you had 3 members of Panthers that were in the top 4, top 5 players. Now we're seeing not only Trick show up, we're seeing Nate also perform for his team. Trick, he had 14 elims in day 1 and day 3, 7 eliminations as well in day 2. So he is constantly and consistently showing up for his team. Nate as well, 7 elims on day 1, 6 elims on day 2, and showing up on day 3 again. He wanted to show that extra strength that APHELION Esports are, well, they're going to be known for by showing up again with 10 eliminations as well. So very, very good performance from them so far, Hot Jukes, and looking forward to even more and, I guess, stronger and better performances from them. I want to see consistency throughout the entire week and throughout the entire tournament.
Absolute dominance. That's what we're looking for from APHELION Esports. Now, one team that used to dominate like that, but had a great day finally yesterday, was the Knights. The Knights finally stepped up from going all the way at the bottom to getting a nice little jump 7 yesterday. So why don't we take a look here at their stat 7? I know this is something, a squad that is near and dear to your heart, right? Let's see if they're going to be able to finally bring it on up. What do you think we really need to see? Like, which player out of this roster do you want to see more of here today?
I want to see Spec, actually. I think with the new player coming in, I want to continue to see a lot more out of him. And I mean, to be fair, he is performing really well. You can see averaging almost 1 elim per match, putting up 299 damage. That's what you want to see out of a player that, in a way, is kind of new to this team. Coops, though, I mean, with the stats that we were just able to lay out by Sandstorm, you can see why he's currently leading the team. And he was the player, though, even though the stats weren't super crazy on those first 2 days, he was still the player that was actually leading his squad. So it comes down to Spec, Tensa, and Xenox, just for them to be able to bring up Coops, for the synergy of this team to end up working, and for Knights to end up performing like how we expect them to perform, right?
Yeah,
that's what we need to see. We need to see Spec being able to put some damage, Tensa as well, and Xenox as well. Overall, though, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing out of Knights, especially yesterday. But we've been talking about it. We're going to continue to talk about it. Consistency is what we want to see. The only team that has actually kind of shown me any type of consistency is APHELION Esports. But can Knights maybe end up doing that today?
We'll have to wait and see. You know, I think I have to agree with you. Spec, I want to see him do what we all kind of expected him to do. As a matter of fact, remember in the last PMPL, we had just kind of all speculated, been like, yo, Spec, you need to join the Knights. You know, that'd be a heck of a roster here. And unfortunately, we're not seeing the performance that we're really expecting out of the squad just yet. But we saw a little glimpse of light yesterday. Hopefully we could see that today. Now, when it comes to APHELION Esports, this squad, the way that they got those chicken dinners done yesterday was beautiful. Their execution, their teamwork, their aggressive play style. I mean, this squad really kind of just came out of nowhere, at least for me, 7, but they are working really well here. It's kind of hard to criticize.
That's what you said, too. The aggressive play style that team was able to show. They weren't scared of taking fights. They ended up looking to me like how Panthers look on the first 2 days in regards to willing to take those fights. And the best part, and I know I keep saying this, but it's such a huge part, and I think what happened yesterday, as we saw him being able to clutch up to Clown not getting eliminated so early on, was a little bit of extra help because now he's able to get some extra angles. Now he's able to clutch up for the team when they needed him to clutch up. Yes, we did see Nate being able to step it up in regards to Illims. We do see Trick continuing to perform the way he is performing, but it's not just about 2 players. It's about the whole team.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's take a look, see what the teams are going to be playing on today. So take a look at the schedule here. You can see good old-fashioned back-to-back, what we were kind of used to, but actually we're going to be playing 3 Aaron Gales today. We're going to finish it off in the jungle with Sandhawk here, Sandstorm. Which map are you most excited to see, and which team do you think is going to really pop off?
Honestly, I love Miramar. That's my favorite map. It has to be. I have to bring out the sunglasses every single time, and I do want to see those teams. I want to see back-to-back and Ace of Spades show up once again, but not only on Miramar. Like I mentioned before, they have to show up on Erangel. They have to show up on the most important map when it comes to PUBG Mobile. We want to see those top performances that we're used to from back-to-back, and we want to see Ace of Spades consistently show up like we've seen them on Miramar, because every single time I've watched their rotations, I've focused on the map, and I've seen that they always pick the right time to move in, and the second they get into a good position, they use it to their advantage. They don't cower behind the cover. No. They use that high ground. They use their long-range weapons, and they manage to get as many eliminations as possible, and that, again, is what I want to see throughout today's games, Hot Juice.
Yeah, me as well. Now, Sandstorm, you're here on the NA desk for the first time. You've definitely casted some other regions as well, and at the end of the day, this is what we're really looking to do, is see, the team from NA reach on into those global other stages. So I want to say this, right? When it comes to a squad like, APHELION Esports, a team that's really kind of popping off here, which kind of team would you really compare this one to? Is there another squad in another region that you feel is similar?
I would say, okay, so I have a lot of experience when it comes to the Middle Eastern region. When it comes to Middle East, North Africa, I would say when it comes to Falcons, I would compare them to them, because I would say, let's say back-to-back, maybe PITTSBURGH Knights, they're like the Enigma Galaxy. They're like the top-tier team, but sometimes they do tend to falter. But Falcons, they show up massively at one stage and then just completely disappear. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to see from APHELION Esports here, but it's, again, we've only had 3 days, okay? We've only had 3 days. We can't really see or say that this is the best team North America has ever shown. No. We want to see it throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, you know what? I think he makes a point, right, Seven? Right? You got to be able to put that stamp and get that performance to the rest of here, Seven. So, do you think we're going to see APHELION just be able to run out this whole thing so far with what you've seen?
They've been so dominant. I mean, when it comes to Erangel, if I'm not mistaken, I think pretty much every single match that they have gotten a chance to play in Erangel, they have either won or ended up in the top 3. And you can see right there, 10, almost, but you know what? I'm going to say 10 Illims, 17, pretty much 1,800 damage average after 3 days. That is just, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to come down to, can somebody stop this team from being able to do what they are doing in Erangel? And I mean, now you're starting to get a little bit more contenders, right? At first, it was only Panthers, but we were expecting those big names from previously. Nova, where has Nova been? You can see Nova started slowly but surely starting to crawl up this leaderboard in regards to performance for Erangel. And then Knights, a big spike yesterday, and being able to at least get 5 Illims, 1,300 damage. I think the way that today is going to be able to tell a lot, right? 2 days, consistency is good. 3 days is great. 4 days, though, I want to see that from APHELION.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I know what we're going to see at the end of the day, and that's Nova with a 2nd place finish. But let's see who's going to end up with 1st place here at the end here of the day. So these are the participating teams that we're seeing here for that first match. Again, Group E is sitting out, so the Korean barbecue lovers, MEZEXIS, 4 Bros, and 19E are going to be on the bench here. But the rest of the squad are going to have to make it happen here in match number 1, which we're about to get started here right now. Thank you so much, Seven. Thank you so much, Sandstorm. Let's go ahead and take it to our casters, Span Cargo and Zute. Take it away.
Thank you, Hot Jukes. We're back with another day of PMPL NA action, and today, as you saw, it's going to be a lot of Erangel maps, which is, arguably APHELION's best map, but we just saw yesterday APHELION could wreck it on other maps too. Now, Span.
Yeah.
No way they're going to do as well as they did yesterday, but I still think they're going to do extremely well. The main question that I have to ask for you, though, is which team do you think is going to step up even more today than any of the other days that they've played so far? Back-to-back, Knights, Nova, like if you had to pick which team is going to, really ramp it up today, who do you think it's going to be?
Honestly, I feel like we got a pretty good showing of the Chosen yesterday, so I think I'm gonna go with them. They've slowly
Okay.
been climbing up. I mean, I feel like I could be choosing a couple teams right now. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant. Unfortunately, I can't choose back to back because yesterday they dropped significantly in placements while the Knights are actually above them now. So I feel like I can't really choose them in terms of getting up towards maybe those top 3-5 places, but I think there are a couple, such as the Chosen, that's in 6th right now, that definitely is going to be aiming for those spots. So I'm choosing them for today. I think the Chosen's going to kind of show up.
Okay, you know, I absolutely love the fact that you picked the Chosen. I feel like this team hasn't really gotten, you know, the spotlight that they deserve.
Yeah.
They've just been playing very, like, top-end average. Nothing super big, nothing super bad, which is why they're just kind of hanging around there. Whereas, you know, with back-to-back and Nova, we saw back-to-back, you know, have a huge day, and then they're just nowhere to be seen. Nova's been kind of hanging in there, but it's Nova, right? Everyone's always, you know, got their eyes and talking about Nova. But we're into the first match. Very northern plane path down to the southeastern side. With this being Erangel, I don't think we're going to see anything, you know, crazy. There shouldn't be any altercations. We did see some hot drops here and there between some teams, you know, contesting each other for split drops. But as far as the big teams go, like the teams we really have an eye out for, I think they're going to be fine with their looting phase. And we're just going to have to wait and see, you know, where the first circle is and where the circles shift after that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I'm really looking forward to seeing as well. We know that there's 4 teams not playing in this, right? And one of them being 19 Esports. This could be the opportunity for some of those top teams that we were already talking about, or even the desk was talking about, to kind of jump up and get above them. Of course, everybody's going to be out one match today inside of our 5 games. So it's kind of getting to the point at the end of this week that every single match very much does matter so that they can try to get to the top spot as much as possible to get those bonus points that we were expressing so much importance yesterday. And wait a second, Sute, I'm actually really excited for this first circle. It's all the way up inside of the Northwest.
Yes, very classic circle that, you know, if it ends, we did see a game of Erangel where it did end in Yasnaya. That was actually a match that APHELION did win, right? So this could be a similar one where it ends in the city. I'm hoping it goes around the shooting range or even potentially Zarki. I don't think I've ever seen, maybe like once in my lifetime, I see a competitive match in Zarki. But we'll see. We'll see where the circles go. But one team or one person in particular, I want to, you know, give a nod to, which I mean, the desk already talked about on Coops, right? He's currently second in running for the most eliminations, right? MVP. Well, I don't know if the desk mentioned this, but one thing that I heard was that before yesterday, Span, he was 22nd in the list of players running for like the MVP, like overall rating, right? Coops was 22nd. After just one day yesterday, he jumped all the way up to second. That is a crazy jump, and it just goes to show when Knights had that huge day yesterday, it was off the back of Coops. Like, yes, the team helped out for sure, but you can't deny the fact that Coops put in a huge amount of work for Knights to have that successful day yesterday.
Oh my goodness, he really did. I mean, even just that jump, it really shows it in itself. He even said yesterday while he was performing, like, what was it, like maybe match 2? You're like, wow, this is the Coops that we're used to seeing. So I think he did. We were kind of wondering, will the Knights kind of get their mojo back, especially at the halfway point of this first week? And it really seems like they have. Now I just need to see if they're going to hold on to that right now. It's the day after. Yesterday, I feel like they ended off pretty happy. It pretty feels good. So I want to see them go on ahead and continue that today.
I gotta agree with that one. And, you know, we mentioned the Livik bonus map. Only the top 12 can get in there. So as for the team near the top, like I say, 1st through 6th, they should just keep accumulating as much points as they can to get, you know, as many bonus points as they're able to. But for the teams like around the cutoff mark, like 11th, 12th, 13th, 10th place, 9th place, and so on, all around the top 12, they really want to make that top 12 because there's one extra match, right? The Livik map that we're going to be playing tomorrow. And that map, those points do factor into the overall amount of points for the week that determine the final amount of bonus points you get. So basically, essentially, if you're not top 12 by the time the Livic match is about to be played, you're for sure going to finish with 13th or lower in terms of bonus points for the week.
I'm so glad you brought up Livic because I've been really excited for that. I'm just like, okay, I know it's on Sundays. I have to wait a little bit longer, but I cannot wait for tomorrow's last game. Being able to watch these guys on Livic, a completely different map than what we're used to seeing in competitive, right? So I'm like literally vibrating in excitement for that to happen. Of course, we have to finish today, though. There's still 5 games today. Of course, all that do matter, as you said, it's not just getting towards the top to try and get those first place bonus points and so on, but also if you're in the top 12, you get into Livic that has its own bonuses. So there's like a couple of things, a couple of strategies I feel like these teams are kind of aiming for.
You know what's crazy to think about, like, in regards to the Livic map? That since that is the last map being played to determine the week's overall points, pretty much the deciding factor for how many bonus points you get is off the back of a map that is rarely ever played in competitive, right? Like, think about it this way. You play a total of 25 games to determine, you know, where you finish for the week. That will determine your grand finals bonus points. But wait, you got to play one more map. Last map is actually Livic. So it's interesting to think about that it all comes down to Livic. Unless if you're in first place like APHELION with a huge lead, that last Livic map probably wouldn't really matter. I mean, things could still change. We got 10 games left to go before we see where the standings are before the Livic map is played, right? And potentially APHELION can lose that lead in 10 games.
Not wrong, not wrong. I remember when new maps were entered into competitive, right? And it was really interesting to kind of see the change on how players, teams specifically played competitive. Like there was a change, obviously. Like then the conversation of, oh, this is their map, you know, really started becoming a thing. I feel like what was really focused on that early when those new maps were obviously new is that to be successful, you have to be so good as a team that it doesn't matter if you don't know the map as well in competitive, right? You just need to really react to what's happening around you in your small sphere that you can see, that you can kind of scope out. And I feel like teams that are able to kind of be flexible to
like
those
the fundamentals,
unknowns,
right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like if you have the fundamentals down, it carries over from map to map pretty much.
Yeah, that is exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you. Exactly. Like, you have such a high-skilled team in that. Like, I'm not really worried for a couple of teams going into Livic.
Okay. Yeah, as wild card as Livic is, if you have the fundamentals down, they would still help out. I just want to. I'm just wondering, are these teams scrimming in Livic now too? We play a total of 3 Livics in the whole tournament, right? Because we got 3 weeks, so technically you only play Livic 3 times. But hey, I don't know, man. Everyone wants to get their practice in, so maybe they play a Livic every now and then for their scrims. Yeah, everyone's rotating now. We're about 8 minutes in. Today, definitely a little bit slower of a start for Erangel. No casualties whatsoever. But of course, you know, with such a northwestern circle, you know, that might be, you know, causing slower rotations. Teams are playing a little bit slower simply because one of the big questions is it north or south of the river? We don't really know yet. So I don't think teams are really like vying for one spot in particular as we get the overall map on your screen. WALLSTREETBETS playing the cube compound that we usually see the Knights at, but WALLSTREETBETS, of course, had a priority rotation there. Very, very strong compound. Probably one of the most infamous compounds in terms of power positions on the Erangel map whenever we get a northwestern circle.
I mean, even more because it's right on the river. You don't really have to worry about having control of a rotation onto the north or south. There you have it. It does look like, though, they're not really going to have to worry on any more rotations because it goes north. Oh my goodness. What are the odds it goes to Zarky? I'm actually really excited to see fights happen up here. I feel like it hasn't happened in a while that I've
Yeah.
seen competitive up here. So this is going to be really interesting to keep an eye on. And
Mhm.
one thing that I wanted to point out real quick is that the Panthers literally just got into the zone. Like Star, they've been rotating inside zone for a while. The
Oh,
Panthers
yeah.
just left Military Island. They're just coming in here, and the zone shifted even further for them. Like they're
Mhm.
chasing the zone right now, and they're going to have the last place that's open.
You know, I think they got to make an eastern rotation, like come in all the way from the east. Because I feel like the problem now with this, if they keep going north from where they are, bridges, right? Bridge camps. I've never we've seen zones end around here in Erangel, like where the second circle is, but I don't think I've seen a second circle that's that hard north. Usually it's a bit more south, and then the circle shifts up north and it ends around there. But with the second circle already being this far north, it's going to make for a very interesting game. It looks like the Panthers, they are not going to wrap all the way around to the northeastern side. They might just go for the bridge and scout it out, see if it's open or not,
No.
and then cross it. And the team you kind of called
Yeah.
out to do well, Span Cargo
Yeah.
Curse.
Stop, that's you. It's not
Span-
me.
Two of
it's
them
you.
already down. Two of them already down. Knights and Execute each pick up a point.
Oh man, I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. Look, there's so many people inside this circle. I mean, Execute actually, I will say I'm a little bit interested in how they're playing this because Execute is super spread out as of
Yeah.
right now, and they were just able to get one elimination way up to the north, but now we got Angry Amateurs kind of scouting around their southern position here. I like to see that they're still movable, right? You can see Solo driving away immediately. That's kind of what you have to do if you're, oh, okay, never mind.
Oh.
Back to back, another team that I want to do well. Looks like Polo as of right now knocks Kill Switch, will go ahead and get the knock and to the flush onto somebody else though. Who is this? THIRDEYE, isn't it? They're so spread out too. They must have been
Yeah.
caught on rotation here. Wait, there's 3 teams.
I don't understand THIRDEYE's split because we saw one of THIRDEYE in the shack. Maybe THIRDEYE and back-to-back both went for that compound at the same exact time, and then Most Wanted kind of swung by and got involved. But yeah, THIRDEYE, this team has been just slowly dropping down. After the first 2 days, they were pretty good. They were doing pretty well. And yesterday, their performance kind of lackluster. Same with back-to-back. So this team getting off to a rough start. Back-to-back, though, however, they got that revive, and they also will manage to pick up... Oh, they're actually down 1 player, but they do pick up 2 elimination points. And J7, he's still
No.
going for it and spraying the smoke. I'm not sure why J7 is out there. That was a little over-aggressive. Definitely sticking his head out like that.
I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that it didn't work though. I mean, if you take a look at the map, Most Wanted, they're so split from each other. That's also honestly probably why back-to-back can't get any sort of an angle back onto them, is because they have such a wide sight onto the rest of back-to-back in that position that they're just going to have to hunker down in that building as they currently are. Like, that is their position
Yeah.
for now. And now that Most Wanted knows that there's only 2 left in there,
Oh.
I wonder if they're going to do something about it. However, what's more likely is they're probably going to continue to hold that edge of the circle.
All right. I mean, if the second circle goes north, the third circle shall go
I'm
north.
so excited.
Also, we're going to end on the ridge lines potentially
Yes.
of the northern side of Erangel. I mean, we see Execute. This is a great opportunity for them. Now, even though they're in such a great spot and they have the ridges within their control, I will say we rarely ever see games up here. So even if Execute falter here, I wouldn't be too surprised because this is a very unfamiliar area of the map. We don't know how often things work out in different positions here. Star Gaming taking a fight with Dope, and we do see the Panthers up here. As I was saying, I was hoping they were going to take a northeastern wraparound, but the bridges are being super cramped right now with 3 teams here, and the Panthers, are they all up? I'm taking a look at the list. No, they're down to 2 players, yeah.
And they're very split. The thing is, they come from military base. If they're going to make it all the way up to the northeast, that is a long rotation. Like, that takes forever. They probably wanted to try to get some sort of knowledge inside of the zone by getting there a little bit faster, taking the western side. But as you can see, it definitely backfired. Only 2 of them left. However, Star, it looks like they're chasing Dope. They're chasing Dope down, and they're going to leave the rest of the Panthers alone. So they're going to be left behind. The Panthers should be able to cross across that Georgia Pole Bridge. And Dope, I
Is he
don't
not
know if they're
boosting?
going to be low.
Oh, he is boosting. I feel like his buggy's extremely slow. You see the other buggy's passing him right up. Brian, going
no.
for a little swift turnaround. stops, fires some shots, does not collect. Illusion. This is Fast and Furious right here. This man is running for it, and oh, he actually gets off to shoot back at the 4 players chasing him down. Oh, pops off some shots. I feel like we're watching a completely different game right now, Span.
Yeah, this is like Mad Max. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Mad Max, Fast and Furious. Illusion, he's still alive with a 4v1 getaway right there, and they're gonna stop the chase. Yeah, they're gonna stop the chase.
I'm surprised that he succeeded in that. I really thought he was dead, because you're right. They were overtaking him. I feel like if I couldn't tell who it was, that one member of Star Gaming that got past him on the bridge, if he just went a little bit further forward, like he would have been able to jump out of the vehicle and get the perfect angle, but he stopped a little bit too early for it to have worked. I'm a little bit surprised by that outcome, but now Dope, they're holding on, I guess. He's actually not the last member of Dope either. There is one more person that's super far down in the blue zone, so they might be able to reconnect and continue to play the game as a duo.
All right, Span, I gotta say something real quick. I'm looking at my map feed right there.
What's
Perfect. THIRDEYE Bolty in the water. He's on a piece of land there. And as we know, the circle gravitates towards land, but it could be the smallest speck of land. Okay, I guess not. I was trying to set that up where it goes north once again, and the circle centers.
He's in, though.
He is in, but I was hoping the circle would center up on him. And essentially mean the ending zone will go right there to that speck of land. That would be crazy. I mean, we've seen water zones where it ends in the water with no land. So that was a potential. Anyways, back to the matter of things. Northeastern shift. We're not going to have like the entire ridgeline in play. There is still that northeastern side as the Knights playing really well right now. Looking good, just like yesterday. 3 eliminations. 4 still alive, playing pretty split up from each other, but within sightlines. This is the Knights I want to see coming into today and tomorrow.
That was a really aggressive rotation coming in from Star, actually. They were all the way on the southern side as we watched them make their rotation, and they pushed straight into the bottom of this circle. Like, they didn't stop to like figure out what's happening inside the zone. That was super aggressive on their side. But interesting, in my opinion, we can see Nova now chucking a lot of nades up onto Angry Amateurs. Angry Amateurs kind of got the high ground on them, but with that flurry of nades, they're going to be able to disengage, get away, and kind of regroup with the rest of their team. It looks like they need to go get some reses because the Knights have gotten some knocks on them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I love what Nova did there. As soon as they got those nade locks, they went back to their team to try and help them out. But the Knights right now, you need a full team against the Knights to hold them off, because Knights are battering down Nova. And with that new circle shift, Nova wanted to prioritize what's inside the zone, but it is not looking too good. Xenox is knocked from the Knights, but look at this, man. The way the Knights play, the sight lines are so long. Spec is like probably taking 200, 300 meter shots right now, but it's still to support Xenox and Coops in the close range.
I mean, they're so spread out on that entire mountain. They probably know, like, okay, time to stay up on top of this hill as long as possible, get some knowledge on what's happening inside the zone, because honestly, everybody at this point was chasing the zone this entire time. It kept hard shifting and hard shifting and hard shift up to the north, that everybody was just driving chaotically the whole time. You need to get knowledge like that from afar, and more fights are going to happen. At first it was the Knights and Nova, but Angry Amateurs, they're also entering the zone right in between them. I think they put themselves in a really questionable spot. As you can see, 2 of them knocked, just ready to be flushed for those elimination points.
Yeah, the Panthers knocked one of them, and I do believe Spec popped up in that kill feed too from distance, knocking another one. So Spec putting in huge work. This is what I love seeing. This is textbook right now. When you have a long-range support like Spec laying down so much pressure, it makes Coops and Xenox's job so much easier, where they could just run up almost uncontested. Like, you see Angry, they're forced to keep their heads down, they're forced to hide in the smoke because of the constant onslaught of Spec, and then Coops and Xenox, they just get close and personal and finish it off there. 7 eliminations. Knights, now with the zone closing in, are grouping together, and they're still 4 up. Beautifully done.
And they're regrouping. That means they're going to be pushing to the north right at this fight. They hear the noise. The Panthers, they will be able to go and take out Nova Esports completely. But you know for a fact that the Knights know exactly where they are. I don't think that they'll be able to get inside of this shack, especially since there's so much pressure on that shack from the north, actually from Extreme, I think. So Knights, though, they're definitely going to be peeking on over and seeing if they can take that, or even take, again, long-range shots. The zone will be able to pull back towards them, though, and that's kind of perfect for them. They can continue to stay inside this forest on the southern side of this road.
Yeah, Knights are in a great spot with that circle shift being so close to them, and they've already eliminated pretty much everyone on their side of the circle with their dominance, right? They picked up, I believe, it was Angry Amateurs. They hurt down the Panthers. Nova were forced to eject the area, and they just picked up another elimination. They're up to 8. Another team I want to mention real quick though, Ace of Spades. They're in the zone at a very strong compound on the eastern side. In fact, the only like compound hardcover that's left. So Ace of Spades, this could be a really big game for them as well. But everyone else, they got to move into the zone, and there's not much cover to play with.
Yeah, I'm really worried actually. Everybody on the northern side, there's multiple teams up there. As you can see, APHELION actually being one of them smack in the center. It is just almost flat up there. Like the only real bridges that they have are up here against these cliffs. Right when you go to the northern side of that road in the center, it's very out in the open. So if there's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5-ish teams trying to go and play in that position, it's not going to go too well. This is a chance for these guys to up their elimination points though, so that's probably what they're going to be focusing on now.
Caught in the toe right there. That's a elimination point for Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades up to 5. Probably will definitely pick up a few more with such control over that hardcover compound. And Execute also doing well. They still got 4 up right now. APHELION Esports, 1 is knocked, but we have 4 teams with 4 members still alive. Each one of them actually taking a different position in the zone. APHELION to the north, Execute to the west, Knights to the south, and Ace of Spades to the east.
I wonder if those 4 teams are really going to be able to clean up all of the basically ripped apart teams at this time, at this point. There's 4 solos for teams right now playing this game. So at this point, they might be able to just look around and start cleaning up, especially because all 4 of those guys, I feel like, have different strong vantage points, except for APHELION maybe. They have the northern side, the northmost point, but you can even see this is to the north of that road I was saying. It's hard. They're all prone to crawling around trying to figure out how to play this because it's difficult.
And Most Wanted are going to push that side, it seems. We see one of the players running towards APHELION's position. And Trick's got to hold down the line. I mean, here we go. This is the MVP currently right now. The most amount of eliminations. He gets 1, instantly gets a second one. Pops up, got the M4. Gonna pop the shots underneath the car, pre-fire. Will he get it? He gets the finish. This is... I mean, okay, like, this is why he's #1 right now. This Trick, man, like, this guy, absolutely love watching him play. Next circle pops up, looks like Execute with 4 up, will manage to get inside that zone. The Knights, full dominance on the entire southern hemisphere of the circle now, and Ace of Spades, they lose the zone, so they're gonna have to run in and fight the Knights and potentially Execute at the same time, as Trick is taken down by Fate.
That means there's only 1 of them left now. If 0 of them left, as Execute is going to be able to take them down. This zone did kind of pull towards more of Execute's territory, and it looks like they're, as of right now, are going to be cleaning up the northern side of this road. And you're right, Ace of Spades, they have to leave their compound, and honestly, the only space they can go, I feel like they have to push south and get rid of Knights. That's like the only way they're going to be able to continue in this game, and they're already pushing forward just a little bit on the side of a hill, popping out some smokes, but the Knights are super spread out. I'm interested to see how they're going to fare in this.
Knights right now with 12 eliminations. Ace of Spades looking like they're just trying to survive right now. They might get caught in a crossfire between the Knights and Execute now, however. See the smokes laying down for Ace. That's going to keep them up for now. But how much longer are they going to last? I'm not sure. Execute has sightlines of Ace. I would believe they do. Oh no, there's actually a small little hillside that declines just enough that Ace can kind of just stay there. And the Knights... Oh, Knights are... Nemesis! What? They're going for aggressive push with the card. Nemesis runs one over, and Ace uses that, and they're all pushing in together. This is a great chance for Execute to potentially third party if they decide to.
Koops is behind them, though. Yeah, as you can see, they run into that little shack there. Now the Pittsburgh Knights have the upper hand. They're all stuck inside of this one little shack, and 1 nade from Koops takes them out. I feel like they had the right idea, but unfortunately just could not execute it, I guess. Coops coming from behind as well on the western side was a great angle. So nice for spread out perfectly. As you can see here now, there's only 3 teams left. And I really thought we watched APHELION get eliminated, but no, Clown is still alive. So it is Knights versus Execute, and Clown for APHELION, he could still do something here, whether it be picking up a couple more elimination points for themselves or even securing second place.
Yeah, Clown, he may not be the top fragger for the team, but he is putting in work right now for APHELION, staying alive to the top 3. But meanwhile, we got a 4v4 versus the Knights and Execute. I would have to say, unbiased, that the Knights should be able to take this one, but Tensa actually is the first to go down, and the circle goes up north towards the favor of Execute. This also means Clown is more likely to third-party the Knights now, since the Knights have to move up. And I love this. Execute are trying to capitalize and get more ground off of the knock they had. But we've seen Execute slip up when they try and do things. They don't, necessarily cover all their positions and angles too well. So I hope they don't mess this one up.
That one was also a little bit delayed. I feel like Tensa at that point had already been in the process of being res, but it did give them the time to get here. I guess they really are taking the fights to the Knights because there's no cover up on the northern side otherwise. Like, only Fate has a little bit of a hill. It does look like Xenox, though, with some nicely placed nades, getting another knock on the Execute. Coops again, spotting one out behind the vehicle. I think Execute, they don't have that many people left. They have one person left. Fate all the way up to the north. Now it really is a fight for that second place between 2 solos.
And Clown is taken out, so Execute will get second. Once again, Execute try to do too much. I think that's the problem with the Execute team. Every time we've seen them fail, it's because they're trying to attempt to do too many things. They could have given the Knights, honestly, that little ridge side, and they just control the entire north end with different angles. But the second they move out into the open, it's like it just gave the Knights the opening they needed. And there you go. Pittsburgh Knights, 3,000 plus damage. Only 820 damage received. If that's not okay, when you play PUBG Mobile correctly, that's what the stats should look like. You should be taking as little damage as possible while dishing out a bunch. And we saw here, it's not because the Knights got the zone over and over and over. It's the sight lines and the fundamentals, the long-range pressure, right? That keeps everybody's head down and making it look so easy for the team. Great job to the Knights, and we'll see what the analyst desk has to say about that after we come back from a quick break.
That's match number 1 in the books. Oh, I know 7 is hyped up. He's ready to go. I see over there Sandstorm getting stoked as well. Let's get right on into it. Let's pull up the match ranking 7. Just say what you've been wanting to say, huh? Say it.
Where all the haters at? All right. Where are all the haters at? Ladies and gentlemen, 20 eliminations, okay? You might be wondering why we talked about the Knights even when they were doing bad. It's because they have that if factor. They have that, oh yeah, if we win, we can win with 20 eliminations, and that's exactly what they did. We talked about, I mean, in a way, I kind of called them out, right? In the beginning segment. Yes, you performed really well yesterday, but can you actually continue to do that here today? And I think the Knights just came out and sent an absolute statement, Sandstorm.
Yeah, that they did indeed, and they weren't the only ones as well. 7. You look at APHELION Esports, Clown was able to get another top 3 finish by the end of this game. And you know what? 69% of their games so far have been top 3 finishes. Who are these guys? honestly, these guys are absolutely insane, but BK setting a record for this split for PMPL North America with 20 eliminations, like you said yourself, 7, and getting themselves that winner chicken dinner. And of course, a couple more teams of the ones that we called out. Ace of Spades, are they going to be able to perform on Erangel, one of their weaker maps? And they performed. They managed to get themselves a decent amount of placement points, 6 for themselves, and of course, with those 5 elims as well. But what the heck happened to Chosen? They didn't get a single elimination point, but they managed to get 8 placement points. You got to find that balance, guys, if you want to be able to compete with the top tier teams that we have here at PMPL North America. But we do have to look at but we got to go see that second page, 7.
No. Before we go to the second page, hold on. Is there any way that we can rewind? Because Execute, this is a team that was definitely fighting for those for the top 12 spot, and that team needed to make a huge jump to try to be within the top 12, especially considering that this is gonna be pretty much tomorrow. That's it, okay? That's it after 5 matches. And then we get a chance to play the Livic, and then bonus points come about. So for Execute to be able to get 20 points, that is going to be a huge jump up for them, because that team was in 15th place. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of those teams between 8th and I think all the way down to 16 were really, really close in points. So I can't wait to see the jump that Execute is going to have to do. Yes, they need to become better at just finishing. Okay, they need to become a lot better at finishing. But Execute, we gotta give them mad props for that performance right there out of them. And you mentioned it too, APHELION Esports as well. Now show me that second page, because back to back. It wasn't a donut. I will give you that. It wasn't a donut. It was 4 points. I appreciate it, but I wish you guys would have been in this first page with some extra points. I want to see that back-to-back champions of North America. Where your consistency, and talking about consistency, the Panthers falling off in a way. At least we saw some players. Chico, I saw you being able to get some eliminations there. So maybe it is going to be a little bit of a revive here out of the Panthers later today. Hot Chicks.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see them kind of bounce back a little bit like that. It was good for any team to really get some eliminations, because the Knights, that first game, they were taking them all. They were taking down squad after squad after squad. 20 eliminations is insane. Let's take a look at the total damage. Top damage. Who's going to get top damage this game? Is it Chosen?
Coops?
Maybe it was back to back. It's the
I can't wait to see. Oh gosh.
Oh God. Jeez.
3,300 damage, Sandstorm.
That is a stellar performance from Knights, and also that is a statement from the Knights coming into this first game. Like you said, 3.3k damage, 20 eliminations on that first game. Execute, they were also there towards the end of the game, 2.2k damage for themselves as well. Ace of Spades managed to get a heck of a lot of damage out there, but unfortunately not able to get those eliminations, not able to finish those knockdowns. But their position towards the end, we saw a couple of nades. We saw that final nade as well from Coops that sealed their fate towards the end of the game. But APHELION Esports as well, we saw what Trick was able to do. He dismantled 3 members within a few seconds towards the last couple of zones in that game. Very, very good performance from them. And the fact that Panthers weren't able to perform as well, they are just building on that lead that they had. The lead was already 72 points, guys. It was already 72 points. And now, I don't know, it might reach 90. Who knows? At the end of the day, we might get to a 100-point difference between first place and second place.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is going to be a crazy, crazy gap. Now, Sandstorm, I know what thing that we've been waiting for, right, is this round report. So why don't we take a look here at that round report, see exactly how he's... Oh, it's a lot of Coops. Color me shocked. A whole bunch of Coops here on the board.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of Coops, quite a lot of damage as well. 1,200 damage on his own. That's more than a third of the team's damage by the end of that game. Xenox, though, coming up huge with those 8 eliminations as well for the Pittsburgh Knights. Solo managed to get themselves a couple of grenade kills, or grenade eliminations rather. And I think 3, that might be the most that we've seen so far, I believe, when it comes to eliminations within a single game as well. But looking towards the rest, that is a very good distance for Kiwang as well to get 302 meters when it comes to the longest elimination distance. But Brian, I think he was just traveling quite a lot for himself and his team. 1,300 meters in that game. And these guys, like we mentioned before, one of the bottom teams at the moment, and they are traveling towards the bottom still because they need to get themselves some more points if they want to contest for those top 12 spots and get themselves a chance to play in Livik as well, Hot Jukes.
Oh, yes, sir, indeed. I think we're having to see a lot of these teams that struggled in the first few days getting some good performances. I mean, obviously, we have to talk about the Knights over and over again because they had a massive game here today, and they had a great performance overall yesterday. So, Seven, I know that you wanted to kind of do a little bit of a analysis between them, but before we do that, of course, let's take a look at the overall leaderboards so we can see where everybody is standing. Why?
Oh, that's why, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God!
All
Hello!
the way from 8th place saying, hello, North America. Did you miss us? Were you starting to forget about us? The Knights making the jump to 2nd place, 132 points. You were mentioning, Sandstorm, they are APHELION Esports. Yes, they are performing really well. They are extending that lead, but Knights is finally starting to come back, and this is great to see. This makes me happy. The Panthers definitely need to wake up, but the big storyline here is gonna be the Knights, Sandstorm.
Heck yeah, it is. I thought that the lead was gonna get bigger and bigger, but now not with this performance that we've seen from the Knights. And just to give you guys a little bit more information, 5 games for the Knights. Okay, 5 games. They jumped from 18th to 2nd.
Yep.
18th to 2nd in 5 games. That is an insane rise from these guys. And now you can see why we mentioned them at the start and why we said these guys are deadly when it comes to the league play stage. And we are seeing that right now, Hot Jukes.
Yep. The Knights.
Yep. This is APHELION right now.
Yep. That's what the Knights does.
I mean, I don't know if APHELION Esports is doing that yet, you know, because they're performing really well. If Knights, I'll tell you what though, if Knights does end up doing this again today, then APHELION is gonna be like,
they have to be really careful. Guys, start throwing us some love. Start go ahead and talking about this because this is absolutely insane. Make sure you use that hashtag PMPLNA so we can keep up to date with everything y'all are talking about. This is craziness. The Knights coming from the back. So come on, we're going for that first place at APHELION. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take it on over to our casters, Spad Cargo and Zute for match number 2. Let's go.
Oh man, the Knights in 2nd place now, and you heard it from Sandstorm. In 5 games, from 18th to 2nd place. You know what I think it is? I think now that it's the weekend, the Knights are kind of feeling themselves. They want to put on a show for everyone watching, and that is exactly what they're doing.
Oh my goodness. Like, I definitely feel like a broken record every event. It's the Knights. But this is why. 5 games up to 2nd place. Like, the Knights, I don't know, disgusting in the best way possible. Like, they're absolutely kill it. I'm now excited to see how APHELION Esports is kind of going to respond to that now, right? Because APHELION so far has been very successful in keeping like the Panthers, the SPADES, the Chosen, so on, Nova, like down below them, holding on to that first place position, but the Knights might be chasing after it. I mean, the point gap is still pretty big at this point. Now there only being 1 day left, being tomorrow.
Yeah.
It might be over, but I'm pretty curious. Unfortunately, the Knights, though, can't gain anything towards that big APHELION point number, though, because as you can see, neither of them are playing this match.
So, like, even though the Knights are having such a huge performance, I think it just really goes to show APHELION's consistency. That last game, they finished in 3rd, right? Like, let's not forget, APHELION already had a huge, insurmountable lead before that last game was played. And they're still putting up good performances. A top 3 finish, I believe they got 16 points, 6 eliminations, 10 placement points.
So good.
Something I want to key in on that is like when you have that huge of a point gap, sometimes you get a little too relaxed. We've seen teams with like a 50, 60 point lead slowly just kind of lose that lead because it's like they have nothing to chase after. Right, so it happens naturally, like in any almost, I want to say, competitive type of game. When you're sitting that far up the top, things will just naturally start slipping by, even if you don't want it to. But this APHELION team, they've showed even after day 1 they were first place. Day 2 they did even better. Day 3, which was yesterday, they won 3 out of their 4 games. So they just keep doing better and better, even when they have their point lead extending and extending and extending. So this team is not a team that you could just expect to kind of, oh, they'll just let off the gas because they're so far up. Like, they're going to keep trying to put in the performances. And I think it's great that the Knights and APHELION are in the same group too, which means every time the Knights play, APHELION will be playing.
That's true.
That is really cool how it's going to be working out that way. But let's not count out the Panthers, right? The Panthers are playing this game when the Knights and APHELION are sitting out. Panthers right now in 3rd place. We heard the desk mention it. Freddy looked like he was starting to warm up a little bit, doing a little bit better right there towards the last, game-ending moments. Like today could be the Panthers' day too to start picking back up, because yesterday they were nowhere to be seen.
They're not too far away from the Knights as of right now, too, so they could potentially grab back that 2nd place position in this one match. It might be a fight for the Knights and the Panthers kind of going back and forth for the rest of today. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And I mean, as of right now, I wanted to point this out about APHELION, and I can kind of loop it in with everything else. APHELION Esports, how they're being so consistent is specifically their placement points. Like, they get an average of 10 placement points per game. That's what it says. And that is insane of a stat. The next highest is almost six placement points per game from Ace of Spades.
That's
so
a big difference.
It is. That's huge. That's a huge difference. And the Knights and Panthers, their stats, their averages in both placement points and eliminations actually are pretty similar. So if we're just going off of averages, I feel like the Knights Panthers might be fighting it for right now, but the Knights just absolutely skyrocketing in the last couple of matches. I think that's what the Panthers specifically are going to have to watch out for. Like the Knights, they're on a roll right now, where the Panthers have been consistent. They're going to have to figure out a way to make that roll and stop if they're hoping to be holding on to 2nd place by the end of today. Okay, and I like where this zone is going so far, kind of centering just off of Hacienda del Patron. We got a good amount of people already spread into the zone as well. THIRDEYE actually being super far in at El Azahar. I'm only pointing that out because they're around nobody right now, and that could open up a lot of good rotations or priority wherever this circle 2 will end up going. Otherwise, the furthest, we're just keeping an eye on them as of right now. Back to back, they're pretty far away from the zone, the furthest, and they're going to have to be careful in their rotation, because not only are there a lot of teams just on the edge of the next circle, they're right next to Star, Korean Barbecue Lovers, right below them's Extreme, 4 Bros. There's a lot of teams around them that they're going to have to watch out for. And WALLSTREETBETS, actually, they're already rotating. That's kind of insane. They want to get a good place fast.
Yeah, especially when you can get a center position in the circle. And my eyes are on Nova once again. I know every time Miramar comes on and Nova is around the center of the map, I point them out, right? Because we all know Nova is the strongest team in terms of playing those big splits. I don't think any other team plays splits like Nova does, because it's a little bit risky, and it's just sometimes it's a certain play style, right? Like we see the Knights, they play split, but nowhere as split as Nova does. And I do remember last split last season, I was talking to the Knights team, and I was asking them, what are you guys working on? I remember Coops telling me like they've been studying the Nova team and how they do their splits, because the Knights are trying to learn a little bit more of splits to expand out, because that's Nova's strength. Even out of splits, Nova right now, they only have 3 players, so I didn't realize they only had 3. This would have been a really good game for them to have 4, because they start off looting this area and they would have been able to get massive control in territory. But having 3, that's definitely going to hurt them.
Who are they missing? Are they missing Zfen?
Yeah,
is that
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that's always really hard to kind of navigate, of course. Like right when you're down from 4 to 3, that's almost an entirely different game. So I'm a little bit worried how they're going to successfully play this match, but it's happened before, so gonna have to keep an eye on that, especially since they're really aggressive in getting to their current location now. Like they're like, even though we have 3, we want this spot, we're going for it. Right now they're just smack in the center of this zone, and if they get control of the plateaus just to the north of them, that's a really strong position.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good positions for them to play, but having 3 definitely hurts. And I feel like TC almost kind of took advantage of that, right? You saw how aggressively they took over that spot. TC knows Nova, usually likes to play that area and have it be super split and control a lot. So TC instead will potentially play a similar split, maybe not as big because Nova's still up and they still control the east side of the Minas Generalis area. Other teams, meanwhile, still rotating in. Now, the circle's still really big. We're in circle 1. It could hard shift to the north, to the south, in which case everything kind of changes. But for now, everyone is pretty much just chilling here. One of the teams that I'm looking at is back-to-back. Like, they have not showed up for... I know they definitely didn't show up yesterday, but I almost even feel like in the first 2 days, their performance was not too amazing. Like they had 1 or 2 good games in day 1 or day 2, but they didn't have like a great day to begin with. And since then, yesterday was not very good at all. I mean, they've fallen off the first page. This was a team that we started to, see shines of brightness. And I remember saying they have the ability to flip that switch on whenever they want because they're doing great, in the beginnings of the game. And it's not just the grand finals, but once again, they're nowhere to be seen. So I think they're still kind of struggling with that consistency that they've always had for the past 2 years, I would have to say.
Yeah, yesterday, at the beginning of the games yesterday, they were actually in 4th place. So they were consistent enough to get into that really good spot. But starting today, they were in like 10th. Like, it's not going well for them. You're right. Yesterday, something happened. They stopped doing well. And usually we do see them clutch it right at the last moment. But at this point, with the bonus points actually now being a thing, you can't just clutch it at the last moment anymore. Like you can in the old format, clutch it at the last moment, just get into the top just enough to get into the super weekend and so on. But now there is no more super weekend, right? Now you have to actually be at the top of like an entire week to be able to capitalize off of any such points. So they're gonna have to stop that trend right now. But I want to see them above 10th, hopefully, by the end of today. That's kind of my mini goal for them.
Above 10th. I think that's doable. The circle centers right smack dab in the middle, so we won't be seeing too much movement, just teams still continuing to rotate in from the previous circle. And, just some foreshadowing, just to throw it out there, probably not going to happen. But what if back-to-back, right, goes into the finals with not many bonus points, but they just turn up once again like they always do in the finals.
They could.
Like, that would be insane. Probably not going to happen, though. But THIRDEYE trade back and forth. 1 player knocked from WALLSTREETBETS and 1 from THIRDEYE. WALLSTREETBETS definitely being the aggressors here. THIRDEYE trying to get that revive off. They do manage to get that revive. G1 knocked way off to the side by himself, so I don't think they're going to be able to revive that player. But 1v2 potentially for Skipper. He gets 1. Does he get the second one? Skipper, his teammate ran in. Yeah, his teammate ran in. The support was there. And that is THIRDEYE.
His teammate knocked his teammate with the nade. That is
is
very
that
unfortunate. Yes, he was prepping that nade right as the push happened. That is just so unfortunate timing. And the nade ended up exploding into his teammate. Oh man, you know how it feels like when you're trying to prep that perfect nade and then that is unfortunate moment. But now WALLSTREETBETS, they have control of this compound, and this is not something to be scoffing at. Like, this is a great place to kind of be starting this early on.
Yeah, THIRDEYE just continuing to slip down. We had an eye on THIRDEYE after the first 2 days, but not looking good for them. WALLSTREETBETS with a very, very fast team wipe too. I thought that fight was gonna, take a little bit longer because that's what you typically expect from teams that aren't as experienced or near the top echelons. Their fights tend to take a little bit longer. But WALLSTREETBETS,
well, I guess THIRDEYE kind of sped it up with the nade,
Oh yeah, team nade never really helps in any situation. The Chosen here, looking at the map, Chosen are playing a pretty wide 2-2 split. right now, pretty much in the center of the zone, a little bit to the west of it, taking some long-range shots towards HQA, tossing a little med over. You know, I absolutely love how they added that function in. You could toss like
Same.
meds and like everything to your teammates now. It's always great to see players utilizing that, especially the older generation of players, right? Sometimes, you know, they add in a new function and you're just so used to how things are. Players never really take the time to learn the newer functions, but you see it there in the next circle shift about to come out. Wool is centered up once again, or potentially a hard shift.
Ooh, and we're gonna see shortly. I'm actually interested in this shift once again. Nova is gonna be happy about this, though we know that they start off with 3 players this time. I like their split. They have control. The other 2 up on top of those plateaus that were mentioned. Everybody else in their vehicles flooding in now. Again, difficult terrain to be playing in.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot of these
very
spaces
difficult.
can be open, but at least there are a lot of bridges, right, where some teams could hunker down. They just don't really promote good sight lines and a lot of space there.
Yeah, not much real estate to play with, and you're right about the sight lines. You can find a little pocket to play in, but there's obviously not that many pockets in that area, because some
True.
sight lines do extend quite far. And even though we are going into Circle 3, this is probably one of the Circle 3s on Miramar where we're going to see more teams than usual go out simply because of the rough terrain and the little availability of pockets to play in.
I'm interested to see who's going to finally be kind of taking that center compound. As of right now, it's completely empty. It does look like it's being eyed up by HQA, though. So we'll see if they'll be able to find it. That'd be kind of like hitting the jackpot, except for the fact that that compound right in the center is in such a bowl that once you're in there, it's kind of difficult to get out of. So people might be staying away from that. So right in the center, honestly, it might be a little bit of a dead zone. So that means there's going to be a lot of fights along these edges. And we can even see, unfortunately for Sam from Korean Barbecue Lovers and Acer, actually, both of them are getting lit up right now from WALLSTREETBETS and I think Dope at the same time.
Yeah, and they're on the very, very northern edge too. And even here, they're having to fight because, like we said, there's really not much real estate to play with. So every little spot on even the edges of Circle 3 being played and contested for. We see 3 teams up here: WALLSTREETBETS, Dope, and Korean Barbecue Lovers. Meanwhile, Nova here did decide to group up closer on the southern side. They couldn't hold that big split, especially this late in the game. Only 3 players. Yi with the mini spams, taking out some wheels, taking out some cars, putting some damage in, but no eliminations as of yet.
Oh, but 4Bros, they're not going anywhere right now. Nova, they have a sharp eye on that. They're just going to be prone right underneath that ridge for a while. That's going to be kind of difficult to leave, especially as the hit list is right behind them. Look at this angle that we actually have. 4Bros safer now, in enough of a dip where the hit list can't do anything, but can't move because of Nova right above them.
Nope. Nova trying to do what they can. Even though they're not picking up eliminations, they are pressing teams and keeping their heads down. So when the next circle shifts, that gives them even more ample time to rotate. Execute taking a fight with the Panthers, and it looks like the Panthers are getting the better end of that. Execute down to 2 players, 1 elimination. Panthers will get that full reset. Moso is not. It looks like he's about to get revived. And the mini shots right now. A lot of players using the mini on Miramar. And that circle shift hard to the northwest onto TC and HQA.
And I was actually wondering if this was going to shift up onto that road, because that road is a canyon. Like at this point, if you choose the north or the south, getting to the other side is going to be difficult. That being said, of course, the southern side definitely has a lot more to it inside of the circle, but that's just all one big open valley. So all these guys are definitely going to continue to be fighting along the edge, I feel like, to try and get themselves any amount of points before they eventually go out, just because of how bad this zone is. It looks like Star and 19 Esports, they're arguably one of the furthest teams from this new zone, and they're actually committing to this fight probably because of that fact. Like, they know that this is the fight that they have to take. They're hoping for any points at this point because this rotation is hard. Star Gaming, as of right now, clearly in a really good spot from Nesquik, getting 2 knocks, I believe, on 19 Esports, but it is still a 2v2 now.
And 19 Esports a little bit too split. The two players in the back line didn't support their two players in front too well. The start will get the better end of that. Robert PG should also be getting revived right now. 19 Esports now just trapped pretty much in the compound. And oh, never mind. With blue zone closing, I guess they're not going to go for the revive.
Tried taking him with him, but didn't quite work out. But they know the blue is on them, and this zone's going to start hurting, right? But even when they get in the zone, like there's already fighting, and that's the fight that we're watching right now. Korean barbecue lovers finally being forced to come to the zone, crashing onto the compound that WALLSTREETBETS already owned.
Yeah, WALLSTREETBETS. They took out THIRDEYE. Can they take out Korean barbecue lovers? Korean barbecue lovers are playing with the man down as they lost one earlier. Quanchi, or is that? Oh, that's actually Jonchi. Okay, Jonchi moving around, and Acer goes down, and so does Quan. Korean barbecue lovers not looking good here. Down to just one player. I do believe that one player's last player is probably Sam. Yeah, Sam typically plays the Overwatch position, but sometimes you just got to get in there with the rest of the team because the sightlines just don't offer you the line of support that you're looking for.
Especially with the 3v4 inside of a compound with a lot of hardcover. Yeah, like at that point, you really needed the numbers there for that 3v4. But I guess the silver lining, if we keep looking for those, is that he's still alive. He'll be able to hopefully try and find a little hill to lay prone at just below WALLSTREETBETS and stay alive a little bit longer inside this zone. It looks like actually... Oh my goodness, Dope and MEZEXIS just absolutely running into each other out in the open on their vehicles here. Dope doing well with 3 still up. MEZEXIS are the ones struggling. It's just Flawless left.
Down to Flawless. He did get a very nice knock though. I think there's one more player from Dope. He's got no 2 more players. He's got to watch out for that. Nade might be good though. Looks really good, and it is. That's a, oh wait, no, Flawless is still alive. Okay, that one's gonna finish him off. Oh, nope.
Healed.
Flawless still up, doing what he can right now. He's not in the zone, and some third-party action from 19 Esports that might help out Flawless just enough for him to get close to do some more damage.
Look, my eyesight might be bad, but I swear I didn't see anything in Flawless's HP bar. Like, I'm actually so surprised that he somehow survived that. And now he's behind them. Look, he has a little ridge just to the southern side of Dope, and Dope, they aren't even looking in his direction anymore. Did they already that quickly forget about his existence?
No, I mean, they have 19 Esports shooting them from the side, so there's too much to worry about, and the zone is closing, right? So they have to move in. I'm sure they're still, like, wary of him. We saw one of the players scope back in towards the car, but yeah, Flawless has already moved to a different angle. He's got to be careful, though, as, oh, another team on the northern side taking shots. WALLSTREETBETS taking shots at Dope now, and the zone shifted back down south. That's why WALLSTREETBETS is pressing into Dope. Zone is back down south, right on top of Ace of Spades and HQA.
It looks like the hit list is starting to get interested in all the commotion happening down here too, as WALLSTREETBETS starting to make their move. Doesn't look like they're interested in making a direct line towards Dope, but they are going to be making their way around. They knew exactly where they were, getting that res behind that tree, so that is an obvious amount of eliminations they're going to take. Illusion, though, popping out of nowhere behind that rock. They're going to be able to get a little bit of revenge on the WALLSTREETBETS, but Skipper is going to be able to end that. Dope out, eliminated, and now the hit list will be continuing to look down to this northern side. MEZEXIS out as well. That solo unable to stay alive for long.
Yeah, WALLSTREETBETS looking really good. 11 eliminations right now. They took out Dope, they took out THIRDEYE, and they almost took out the entirety of Korean barbecue lovers. Korean barbecue lovers still have Sam up left, but this is looking really strong for WALLSTREETBETS. Nova still in the game. I think Nova's just down to 1 player now. Yeah, here, Yi, the last one up, trying to find some safe spot he can play in the zone. We still have a 4-man of HQA, the HITLIST, and TC, including WALLSTREETBETS. That's 4 teams of the 4 players still up.
I'm actually really excited to see the Chosen up, because yesterday they were doing well. That's why I ended up mentioning them at the very beginning of today. Now they're still alive. I don't even remember what happened to them in the last match. Did they even play the last match? I'm not even sure.
They finished 4th.
Right.
Yeah, they lost a lot of players early, so you kind of wiped them from your brain. But they finished in 4th place at the end of the last game, so they're doing good. They're doing really good today.
Well, then I'm excited for them to be alive in this moment. Does look like HQA will get a knock onto one of them, but staying with 3 up on the northern side, hopefully that's going to be okay for them. It does look like with the zone shift, though, they're going to actually have to be aggressive onto HQA shortly. And WALLSTREETBETS, honestly, they have to choose a rotation, right? They have to choose to rotate up to the north and take that fight, probably sandwich the Chosen, or push into the hit list to focus on that southern rotation. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose.
Oh, they're going to get the revive also. It's
Okay,
almost,
nice.
I think it almost helped out that the circle shifted down that way because they got to move that way regardless. So may as well run towards your teammate and pick him up. And we'll see how HQA holds this off because everybody's going to be coming into HQA's circle. It should work out for HQA though with that Ridge and Ace and the hitless fighting each other. WALLSTREETBETS. WALLSTREETBETS is the big team to worry about right now because they are playing really well right now. 4 players still up, all guns active, and they're just sweeping the side.
Wow. They're pushing.
Look at this. Damn.
So aggressive.
You can't do anything about that.
The hit list, they were just wiped in the blink of an eye. And up next is Ace. Look, WALLSTREETBETS, they're already in their vehicles. They're like, okay, I already got them out. Time to go into the next victims, you know, start driving away. It does look like they've taken a good amount of damage at this point, though, so WALLSTREETBETS are going to have to take a little bit of a pause, kind of figure out where Ace is, and they're out too. Wow, WALLSTREETBETS, they're just absolutely rolling over people now. There's one person left for Nova that they could potentially run into, but I really thought it was going to be the Chosen that was going to get sandwiched. It looks like it's HQA that's going to be in between these two big teams.
Yeah, HQA have their work cut out for them. Luckily for HQA, they have a very strong position to defend, even if it's against 2 different teams. But it can all just go cracking down in a blink of an eye. There you go, with Cross being knocked. And WALLSTREETBETS still not fully in the zone. They might go in really, really aggressive. Chiwang able to pick one up onto TC. And it is a 3-way fight. And Yi, still alive for Nova, just probably going to play extremely quiet here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he wants to make sure that he's at least in the top 3. And right now, there's definitely 3 other way big teams that he's going to have to continue to hide from. It does look like, oh no, he's been spotted out. HQA will get that last solo. Looks like WALLSTREETBETS was spotted out as well. So finally, one of them goes down. 3 of them are still left, and the Chosen are pushing.
Chosen push, but they ran into the UMP of Crystal Pig, a double knock for HQA. I think TC saw in the elimination feed that HQA had one of their players knocked, and they tried to take advantage of it. They tried to get in on that third-party action timing, but it did not work out for them. And that is TC taken out in 3rd place. HQA down to 1 player. It's going to be WALLSTREETBETS that take the advantage of the third party. They're going to get the revive onto 1. A 3v2 situation. No, WALLSTREETBETS is going to revive up to 4. This should be WALLSTREETBETS' game. They absolutely played phenomenal for this Miramar match. I love the way they took the fights and controlled the fights that they needed to. And ultimately, it should lead to a chicken dinner for them. They're trying to get the angles. They have the zone priority, too.
I actually like how aggressive they were on the couple teams before this, but right when they got to this point versus HQA right in between them and the Chosen, they took a little bit of a breather, right? They tried to figure out what was going on, and that waiting opened up this opportunity for them to make this push. The Chosen weakened HQA just a little bit, at least revealed themselves, and now the fight is fully going. Looks like a little bit of a trade did come through. HQA and WALLSTREETBETS each have 3 left up. Looks like the res is already going for at least one of them, while HQA, they're not going back to get cross. That means WALLSTREETBETS, they're going to have the man advantage once this res is done.
Oh
no.
24K goes down. HQA might be bringing this back in their corner, in their favor. That first knock was great out of WALLSTREETBETS, but I don't know why he went for the confirmation. That got him trade knocked right there, a little bit too greedy. And WALLSTREETBETS falling down to the low ground. HQA gets the high ground. WALLSTREETBETS putting themselves in their own coffins pretty much, and HQA instead should be taking this one clean out from under WALLSTREETBETS. WALLSTREETBETS played that so well up until the very end. Those were some crucial mistakes that they made, and HQA holding it down, getting that defense in, getting the 2 revives in. It was a 4v2 at some point, but HQA got the revives, and they got the winner chicken dinner.
I'm surprised Wall Street Bets, they were being so aggressive and pushing correctly, getting all those eliminations, and then right when they needed to, they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of an interesting choice there. HQA, I mean, getting those revives, continuing to kind of be able to reset successfully after the Chosen, and then just continue to focus on the next team, which was Wall Street Bets, that led to their success.
HQA deserved that win. They defended against the Chosen push and the Wall Street Bets push, both at the same time, and it just Crystal Pig with that double knock on TC absolutely shut them down. And then he was the last one up. Yeah, he was the last one up. Got the revive on the second teammate, and then they got a full reset. Great game for HQA, a great Miramar match to say the least, and also a great game for Wall Street Bets. They got second with a lot of eliminations. We'll be right back with a quick break in the analyst desk.
And the only Miramar we're playing today is in the books at 7. Hey, you know when you're having a problem with your phone, you know, they tell you to do like a soft reset, you know what I'm saying? They say, hey, you know what, take the battery out, put it back in. I don't think that was a time to really allow a reset. What do you think about that? Yeah. Sandstorm, what do you think about that as we go into the match rankings? Well, I know Seven's ready. He was speechless after that one.
I mean, honestly, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be after a game like that? We've talked about execute throwing before, but that was even worse. Just because you're talking about Wall Street Bets and HQA, both of these teams are on the edge of the top 12 spots. HQA being in 13th and Wall Street Bets being 12th with a 1-point difference. And the fact that Wall Street Bets lost that but still ended up with 14 eliminations, I think they're still going to be hanging on just ahead of HQA. But looking towards the rest, Nova Esports, 15 points. They managed to get themselves 7 eliminations by the end of that. Ace of Spades, once again, showing up for themselves on the side of Miramar. But the Chosen, this is the second time that we're seeing them showing up with a lot of placement points, but not many eliminations. At least it wasn't a donut like last time for themselves. HITLIST, MEZEXIS Esports as well. 2 teams that should be competing for top 12, including Dope Esports as well. So I think like just with those small incremental increases, I don't know if it's going to change that leaderboard that much. But let's have a look at the bottom half of the match ranking here, 7. Panthers. I just got to ask, what's going on? Where's the reset? Where's the comeback? What's going on with these guys?
They're waiting. That's what it is.
For what?
They're waiting. They're shaking their head. I don't know, man. I'm still stunned at what Wall Street Bets just did, okay? I think that's the reason why I muted myself, because I was saying some not nice words out loud earlier when I was seeing that reset from HQA. Nonetheless, though, not only the Panthers, I mean, you're talking about the Panthers because they were in second place. Back to back, Span Cargo said it best. Yesterday, at the start of yesterday, that team was in 4th place. Right now, yeah, they're nowhere near that. Hopefully, those teams are going to be able to reset, execute, not being able to follow up on the performance that they did have. I don't know what's good. I mean, we talk about consistency. You see THIRDEYE there as well at the bottom with the donut. We're just not seeing a lot of consistency out of these teams. And this was the perfect match. This was the match when APHELION Esports, when Knights was sitting out. And guess what? HQA was able to take full advantage of it too. Wall Street Bets, regardless of what happened there at the end, was still able to take huge advantage of it. But some of the other teams need to step it up in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, 3 more matches here left today. A lot of Aaron Gales left to be played as well. So that's the map that's tried and true. A big chance for the opportunity to really get that done here. Let's take a look here at the top damage 7. See which squad was able to get the most here in this one. Definitely some big prizes as well for the most, eliminations, most chicken dinners at Wall Street Bets. 3,000 damage and not first place.
If only. If only they would have just made that push on HQA, I think they would have beaten the 20 ilms that Knights just got, but they would have beaten the Knights damage that they did end up getting on that last match in Erigo with the 20 ilms. Overall though, Wall Street Bets, I'm kind of just picking here. Great performance, as I said earlier, from you guys. HQA as well, 10 ilms for them. That is huge considering that HQA, usually when you look at the scheme of things, they're really not a team that is able to put up that many eliminations. So it's good to see this team being able to pick it up in that department. And then if we keep going down the list, I mean, we got to give some props here to Nova Esports. They started with just 3 players, and for them to be able to put up 7 ilms, 1,700 damage, that's what you want to see. Now, earlier, Sandstorm, you were talking about the Panthers. Yes, I know the Panthers aren't on the first page, but the difference that I am seeing today is that they're finally starting to get into fights. They're finally at least starting to win some engagements. And Sandstorm, at least that's a direction. They're going the right direction at the moment.
Yeah, good for them that they're at least trying to come back bit by bit, and it's showing throughout these games as well. But they're going to need to do a heck of a lot more if they want to start fighting the Knights. And now the Knights, they're done. That's it. They've taken their break. Now they're going to be coming back after seeing this game, and they're going to be coming revitalized into the 3rd game of the day. But Panthers, you guys need to step up a heck of a lot more if you guys want to be able to get to those top spots. But is the top spot even on their mind at this point? Is it even attainable at this point? I highly doubt it, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a heck of a lead that we already seen, by APHELION Esports. It's going to be really tough to pass that one up. But, Wall Street Bets finally got a good game here. And for everybody out there that's a big Wall Street Bets fan, you're probably like, hey, Jukes, why are you guys all being a little bit critical? They had a good spade match. The reason why is because at the end of the day, we're not just focusing here on NA. We're focusing on those next stages. You can't make those mistakes here. Ain't that right, Sandstorm? You can make them here and get away with it. But in the future stages, oh, man, you ain't getting away with nothing.
Yeah, you really, really can't. And for Wall Street Bets, we're looking at their stats throughout the entire tournament so far. And these guys, they were basically one fight away from getting themselves not only their 3rd chicken dinner, but basically the 3rd chicken dinner on the 3rd map as well. They already secured one in Sanhok. They already secured one in Erangel, but now they needed one in Miramar, and they just weren't able to finish it out. But they definitely need to learn from that mistake. They cannot repeat it, especially when we're reaching the last couple of games in the first week here, Hot Jukes.
Yes, indeed. They're going to have to unleash the beast. Like Monster Energy. That's right, our official energy drink partner here. They got to get lit. They got to get it on here. We got a couple more matches left to go. So big games left. They got to do exactly what Seb was just doing. Kate, throw it back and get ready to throw some lead down the field. Let's go ahead and, of course, throw it right now to our casters. Zute, Span Cargo, take it away.
Oh, poor Sandstorm. He wanted a sip of that Monster Energy, but Seven was not giving it to him. If you guys are enjoying the show, go grab yourself some Monster Energy drinks yourself, because you know who's going to be needing it? I think the Knights are going to chug down some more Monster Energy to try and catch up and pass up potentially the APHELION team. These two teams, they're both playing. APHELION Esports and the Knights playing in this lobby. Of course, the point difference is huge, but we've seen how huge of points the Knights can get in just one game. I mean, if you guys missed game number 1, just to recap it for you real quick, they got 20 eliminations in game number 1, and the chicken 35 points in one game. The Knights are, well, they were 2nd place overall, but they didn't get to play last match. Same with APHELION, and now they're playing this match. Let's see what the Knights and APHELION can do for this one. And of course, there's other teams playing, but my eyes are mainly on these two teams, because these two teams are looking like the powerhouse teams to watch out for right now.
Yeah, looks like Ace of Spades was able to jump right up into that second slot for now. We'll see. It does look like right after first place. I mean, APHELION at this point super difficult to go on ahead and reach them. But Ace of
Crazy.
Spades, Knights, Panthers, Chosen, all of them, they're so close that I had said like Knights are going to be fighting for that second place over and over again. Now is the question of, are they going to be able to create their own shelf like APHELION has, right? Like, are they going to be able to get far enough up that nobody else will be able to reach them in these next couple of games?
Yeah, the point spread is ridiculous to really look at, right? Like second to
Mhm.
third, 4 points, third to fourth, 1 point. Then it's a 5-point difference and 4 point. But first to second is a. I actually need to do real maths here to calculate
Casters don't
this.
do math. Caster
This
math
one,
doesn't exist.
but see, like that's what I'm saying. Second, third, fourth. I could look at it and count with my fingers to 5, count with my fingers up
For
to
sure.
10. But when I'm trying to do the maths for first and second, I'm gonna need like maybe 6 sets of hands to count the difference there. APHELION Esports, just really in a world of their own. And I think Seven sent me a message. Good old Seven. Seven said it's
70-something.
75 points.
Ah,
That's why he's on the analyst desk. Analysts,
they can do math.
yeah, they could do numbers. Casters, we just shout at the screen when things are happening. Speaking about things happening, Panthers maybe a free point here as one of the 4 bros looking a little lost. Not sure why he's all the way over here where the Panthers usually are. And Nova versus back-to-back. 2v1 though. Yi gets one.
Oh.
Can't get the second. Polo punches him out. We'll get the revive. But hold on. Ren, okay, things are getting a little bit spicy
What's
here.
happening?
Yeah, Nova and back-to-back doing a split hot drop on each other.
Yeah, this is a little interesting, I guess, to say the least. Usually I feel like Erangel is that map where nothing much happens because everybody's so used to their location that they drop, but Kill Switch, I would not want to be him right now. All 3 members of Nova are just crashing onto his location. I mean, they're not happy. They're like, you went and punched out my teammate. We're definitely going to make sure back-to-back loses somebody here. And Kill Switch, unfortunately, he's able to get a knock on a 1, but that's it. That was going to be a very difficult fight for him to ever be able to win.
Yeah, back-to-back. Ooh, J-Way. He's crawling. He's crawling. You can see Polo here. Polo's like, nah, I'm not going out there. You got to come over here. I'm 1 HP. I'm not sticking my head out there. And they're looking for him because they got that knock earlier wide in the open. They're trying to see where this player might have crawled to. And, I think it might be the plane path. Both teams, back-to-back drops in Milta. And plane path might have been too far, so they dropped here for vehicles. This is where Nova Split usually is. Ren!
Ooh.
Oh! Polo's
Spicy.
mad. You know why? Because Polo was one that waited for J-Way to get revived.
True.
Polo revived J-Way. They get in the car, and Polo's the one that gets shot. J-Way is like, sucks to suck.
They like traded lives.
Yeah, J-Way's like, sucks to suck. I'm out of here. Good luck. And J7 and J-Way last 2 up for back-to-back. And back-to-back's just abysmal drop. Abysmal performance continues as the days and games go on.
I'm crying. That's the team that, I was like, that's the one that I usually support. But come on, guys. It's only 2 of them left, and they both have like 20 HP between the both of them. We'll see.
Yeah.
Now they're far enough away. It looked like for a moment that Koi from Nova was kind of chasing them just a little bit to see if he could find where they are. But at this point, the distance is too big. Maybe Nova will continue to drive in the Milta direction to see if they can run into the rest of back-to-back, because that would obviously ensure 2 more elimination points for them. They already know that team is so damaged, but at one point you have to decide, okay, are we going to go ahead and chase those points so we know it's going to be a 2v4, or should we focus on our rotations, our macro play, where we're placed inside of this zone? It seems like right now they're kind of focusing on that a little bit more.
Yeah, Nova definitely known for more of the macro play focused style. If Nova was the Panthers, they would have chased them down. If Nova was the Knights, I think the Knights would have chased that one down right there. But yeah, back-to-back, they will survive with just 2 players. And, I'm going to try and do like a reverse caster curse effect. I started praising back-to-back because I specifically recall me saying the words, like, looks like they can turn that light switch on whenever they want to, like, I think day 1 or day 2. but now gotta lay it in on them. Maybe it'll help them, turn things around. So just like, to be fair and to be realistic, back to back was never a consistent team to begin with. I remember during the league stages, right? They would really, like, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll pull up the stats later, but during the league stages, I think back to back weren't ever like even in top 5. But then in the finals, dare I say it, they get lucky in the grand finals and they just get first place back to back. So being completely brutally honest here, maybe that's gonna reverse cast curse them. Maybe that'll pick things back up for them. But that is how it stands. So back to back, playing to their typical performances in the past.
Oh man, I could just hear their hearts shattering. At what cost are you reverse caster cursing them? But yeah, hopefully now. I mean, maybe not in this game now that they're down to 2 people. But we still have 2 more matches to go after this one. One more Erangel and a Sandhawk. So we'll have to keep an eye on them, see how it goes. Otherwise, we're kind of flying around here, just checking out a bunch of other people inside of this zone. It's kind of messy in the center of this zone right now. Looks like everybody's kind of deciding not to play the edge of the zone game for this one. Everybody is in the very center of this first circle, which honestly, this circle is just smack center of this map in general. These kinds of maps just kind of allow for people to do whatever they want in the beginning.
Yeah, because there's so many different power positions that are easily accessible in this first zone because it's just in the middle that teams are really centering on up. We saw a previous Erangel game where the circle was very northwest. It was a little bit different. Teams were kind of just waiting to see where the second circle would go before they really start to make a move. But this one, everyone's moving on in pretty much. We do have some teams still straggling, but that's just per typical of their play style, right? They just come in later on the zones after they see a couple more shifts.
Yeah, one of them being the Panthers down there on the southern side. Military base once again letting Blue Zone touch them. They're going to have to use up some meds. Otherwise, everybody already in the center, they're just already looking around, trying to grab some information on where people are. And I'm actually surprised that APHELION here, they didn't land too far away from the center, but they're still deciding to kind of stick over here more towards Gaka area. They're deciding they're the ones that want to play towards the edge of this, being super aggressive, getting a lot more fights. Maybe it'll open up some avenues for better placement. It's a little bit of an interesting decision. They're definitely just waiting for this circle to pop.
Next circle will be popping soon. I don't really think it could go anywhere too crazy besides if it hard shifts to the north, like across a river. But otherwise, we're going to see a pretty standard zone ending. Oh, okay, well, there we go. It does pop hard to the north. And we're in for a potential 50-50. Now, as crazy as this circle may be, teams have played this type of circle numerous times, so they shouldn't be too, worried about what to do. Angry Amateurs, Most Wanted pulls up right on them.
Ooh, a big push comes through and Alucard wins that. I'm actually surprised. I don't think it was Alucard that knew exactly where that member was, but Angry Amateur still did not win that one. I think this is just a case of 2 teams kind of crashing on the same place at the same time. Not quite sure, but what we do know for sure is this is a full-out fight. Most Wanted right now, they're all strong together inside of this one building. That will open the door for Angry Amateurs to get some sort of a spread on them. So if Most Wanted wants to get out of here, it's going to be pretty difficult. And now because of the zone shift, they're on the furthest south of this new zone possible. Nice shots, actually. That was a sick angle.
Yeah, I think the info was passed from the Most Wanted player on the back lines, right? That there's a player in the second floor of the window and he just pre-aimed it. I think DIY should have thought better. Like, he could see through TPP that he was being pre-scoped on. And he still decided to do that lean peek. Got his head bopped right off. Alucard pushing once again with the UMP. Can he win the next one? Gets traded at least. He goes down. Mayo with really good cover fire. Knocks down 2, but he's the last one up. I don't think he could do much. 1v2 and Sleepless playing a very different angle. Mayo spots him out though. Gotta be careful. Saint will get the revive and Most Wanted should be fine here.
It does look like Mayo, though. He does have the advantage in that neither member of Most Wanted will be able to get an angle onto him without him knowing. So he's definitely keeping an eye on Sleepless more, though. So it's going to be up to Fate, I think, QWERTY, to get that angle into Mayo and really kind of end this. But there we go, some
Oh.
nades being tossed on over. That actually was really close. That
Yeah.
definitely tickled Sleepless, and he's going for it. Mayo's pushing out in the open. Sleepless doing a ton of damage. Sleepless wasn't even touched. I'm surprised he went for that push.
No, I mean, he had to. It was a 3v1, and he's just a sitting duck, so he had to make a play, do something. So he decided to take the 1v1 and maybe hit some pre-fires before. Like, we saw Saint driving the car, about to flank him from the backside. And do think there's, like, another ridge further behind, and at that point, there's really nothing he could do. So, valiant try. I mean, that's just what happens, though. And we're now moving on to the rest of the map. APHELION going from the south of Gaka all the way to the northwest, picking some interesting methods or angles of rotating into this zone. 19 Esports. I think Ason saw some cars and he's a little bit scared. His vehicle is getting camped out, so he's gonna play it safe and drop a smoke before getting in that car. And looks like Clown is the one leading the scout. So I remember day 1, day 2, Clown's stats were really not that good. When we were questioning like his role on the team, maybe he's the scout player and that's why he goes down early. And it does indeed seems like he is the scout leading the rotation for the rest of the team. And the next circle is gonna pop soon. Will it be north or south of the river? We'll see very soon.
And that, of course, is going to choose what all these guys are going to be doing in here.
Oh,
It will
Knights.
choose the...
It'll choose
Wha-
the Knights.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was gonna say, it decided to choose north just a bit of that river. Someone can play on the southern side, especially if they're more late, such as like 4Bros and Most Wanted super far down to the southern side as of right now. But I feel like for the longevity of the game, everybody needs to focus on getting up towards the northern side of this. And the Knights, they're actually really spread out. I'm a little bit concerned by that, but they're the Knights. They should be able to come on back later on
Yeah.
if needed.
Yeah, the Knights right now. And we saw them play this split, I believe, yesterday too. The same exact split in a similar circle. So they're very comfortable with each of their individual positions. So, I'm not going to lie, it looks a little bit scary though, because they're dead center in a huge 1-1-1 split. But the Wall Street Bets team, after their tremendous performance in Miramar, looks like they want to keep the aggression going and taking a fight with the HITLIST, 2 of the HITLIST down. Wall Street Bets not letting up the gas pedal.
Oh man, the HITLIST, they cannot continue to let this happen to themselves. They have to kind of turn it around at some point because they're not doing too well on this overall. And we know that at least the goal for right now is to get in the top 12 to be able to play in that Livic game. But 2 of them are left. It looks like they're actually choosing the disengage, just Flash and Arsh now being alive here. And that's going to be a difficult play, but at least they got away from the Wall Street Bets for now.
Losing 2 players, though, that's never good. They did manage to pick up the gas station position. One of the players from the Knights probably tried to make a lot of noise, keep teams away, but he was not going to risk that 1v2. So very smart disengage for the Knights there. So they'll play those splits if they're uncontested, but if they are, they're not going to, go down fighting for no reason. So the HITLIST will take the gas station, which is a strong position in the zone, except they only have 2 to defend against it. And meanwhile, Nova down to 3. We saw them lose one earlier, or in the beginning of the game, to back-to-back. They're holding down the southwestern edge in a big 1-1-1 split. So even though they're down to 3, they're still holding the splits to try and maximize their sight lines and control of the circle.
Especially because I know a lot of people are going to be making that rotation from the southern side. I mean, just from all of these northern shifts, I know there's going to be a lot of people coming from down there. And we can actually see that, like a lot of people choosing to stay right up against the blue, making a huge rotation down on that southeastern side, going around as far as possible, especially because that's the safest path to get up onto the northern side of this river. They got to go right through Yasnaya, right around this little river part to get inside. So you can even see it there. That's exactly the directions that Most Wanted took and that 4Bros are currently going in the direction of. But Kindness for Nova, he's kind of taken that one of those little compounds to try and maybe get some eliminations as they drive by. They can't stay there for long though, because you said, ooh, and that is right. This zone, once again, pulling super extreme to one side of the previous circle.
Hey, Ace is in a good spot. This Ace team has been showing up, putting very consistent performances. Maybe not the biggest of performances, but this could be a good game for them. The Panthers also really need to step it up by now. They have 4 players up, and they're in the zone on the northern edge. Everyone else pretty much has to get a move on. Back-to-back, just down to 1 player now, Jayway, the player that Polo ended up saving, and now he's the last one alive. I don't know if he could do much at all. There's a maybe obscure shack he could go to and get zone blessed, but I don't know, man. Back-to-back with 1 player, not much possibilities left.
No, especially because there's so many people right in front of him. He's just gonna have to wait for people to move, and then he's just gonna have to walk on in behind them. Looks like Most Wanted will go out. Nova Esports finally making their way on inside of this zone. Looks like there was a crate right beside Koi that he's ignoring for now, because if he went for it, looks like there were some angles onto it from the Knights and so on. Oh, can't stay still for too long. He's starting to take damage from afar.
MEZEXIS.
Poor Jay.
Oh, Jay must have lost his vehicle or something, because he's just... Maybe that's why he was just looking around. Yeah, Jayway stuck in the blue now. Not looking good for back-to-back, and he's still running around on foot. Ace of Spades, they grouped up together, 4-man strong at this warehouse compound. Obviously a very strong position. We've seen many teams use this place to great success. And the Panthers just hiding near the northern edge. I think the Panthers are just waiting for the next zone to really take a fight and commit to something. Because for now, all the fights that they can commit to, very difficult, right? Ace of Spades at their compound, and then you have the APHELION team, 2-2 split at a different compound. Neither fight easy by any means, so they're just seeing if they have to take one on the next shift.
Yeah, I was even going to say, as of right now, being that aggressive now before this next shift, probably not worth it. Because both of the teams right beside them aren't even like in the center, so it doesn't have like the most chance that the next shift is going to be on them. So why put themselves in that unnecessary risk this early on when there's still 14 teams alive? 13 teams alive, as back-to-back is officially eliminated. It looks like MEZEXIS has to get a little bit of reses going before they're going to make it on in. And right in front of them, Four Bros. Oh, doesn't matter. The Panthers, they did decide to do something about this. I'm actually surprised by this decision. They're going against Ace right now, the second place team. They are in this spot not because of their eliminations though, but because of their placement points. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare in an actual fight against the Panthers that have, as you said, Sute, they're aggressive. They will chase.
Yeah. I think the Panthers got an opening knock, and that's all it takes for the Panthers. Just one knock, and they'll take any fight. We saw the first player down was at that little watchtower there, so that's what they needed. And now with the zone about to shift, there's no better time to take a position than before the zone shifts. I mean, if the zone shifts away from here, that's fine, because it controls so much of the circle, no matter where it goes. And yeah, they would need to take the spot anyways, as the next circle comes right up a little bit south of the Panthers' position. And Ace of Spades, they need to finish this fight quickly before Star Gaming decides to third party the Panthers.
They're starting to wrap around. They're doing it now. Looks like it's not going to be too much longer, though. The Panthers starting to run through this warehouse. They find yet another member of Ace of Spades. I believe that means that there's only one left here. And Star, they do it. They do it anyway. The Panthers, they're still in this fight. They're getting res right now, and Blinky is still alive. But Star, all 4 of them now making this crash onto here, it could be a case of them taking the spot for final. So Panthers, we know that they're good in offense. Now it's time to test their defense.
Oh, Chico with a very nice angle on the backside, getting proactive instead of just hiding in the warehouse. He goes out, finds an off angle. Fierce gets one.
Nice.
He even goes for the thirst. I think he realizes at 1 HP, he probably can't win another trade, and he doesn't have enough time for the first aid, so he'll go for that confirmation point instead. And who is up? I think it's just Chico up, and that is Chico taken out. I was just saying they need to finish that fight quickly before Star Gaming third parties, and Star Gaming, they do it anyways. And oh, Ace is still, Blinky is still alive. Yep, he's been hiding that whole time.
Oh man, I think that's what happens. Honestly, Blinky Aces seats, they're so happy right now because you know if Star didn't do anything, like Panthers would have continued to hunt them down. But now there's a chance that Star doesn't know that he's anywhere near here. So he could get away with this. In the kill feed, in the elimination feed, we did see a couple of other fights go on. The Knights are into WALLSTREETBETS. I believe they're out of the game now. And we can see a couple other people continuing to try and find a spot inside of this zone. Once again, by these roads, super barren. That's why we're seeing a lot of people kind of shoved up to the north or down here on the south we're currently looking at.
PLN Esports still with 4 alive here. The Knights are down to 3, and they have to fight into the zone against Korean barbecue lovers. You see a huge spread here. MEZEXIS, Knights, Korean barbecue lovers, and APHELION. APHELION is sitting really pretty, though, with that ridge that they could play with. Joey with the nade. No connections there. And the Knights are in zone on the very edge, but I don't think they could just afford to sit there because we saw the nades raining in, and I don't think it's hard cover that they're playing with. All they have is a soft cover of the smokes.
I'm interested to see how Korean barbecue lovers are honestly going to be playing in this because they're so spread out right in between those two teams that you were just mentioning. This next zone is about to pop, and I feel like there isn't that much flexibility, that much movement left here. So see, now the zone has officially shifted up towards that northeastern position. Everybody's going to be running or rotating across this big open field and basically just taking fights for the rest of the game. It does look like the solo from MEZEXIS was finally found in that 8th place position, so not quite as good as their usual average placement points, but they gotta wait. We gotta wait to see who's gonna take this one because there's a lot of good teams left that are obviously vying for these points. The Knights want to try and overtake Spade and then overtake APHELION.
Yeah, Nova also in a really good position here. Nice 2-1 split. Even with losing one player early, they're still fighting their way in. And it looks like Knights, even though they're also down one player, they're still a team to contend with as they wipe out the MEZEXIS team. APHELION's going to make a move onto the northwestern side, circle around, maybe get a knock onto next week, and they do. A good trade, but zone is closing. They won't be able to get the revive, and they need to keep going. Down to 2 players. Smoke's coming down. Star Gaming still need to edge into the corner of the zone.
Here we go. Oh no, APHELION. They're taking so much damage here. Trick, really the only one left. No, he does have a teammate, but he's super low. Hopefully getting that res. His Korean barbecue lovers are pushing aggressively too. I'm interested to see now. Knights. Oh, I was going to say Knights might have something here while they're pushing on up to grab a little bit of cover from 19 Esports position, but it looks like Korean barbecue lovers, a couple other people are now getting really good angles on them. Coops currently knocked. APHELION taking more of a defensive stance, just laying prone and waiting for the res onto their teammate and hoping that things will calm down a little bit. Knox being ripped out of that vehicle. Oh no. The Knights, unfortunately, I don't think are going to be successful in making this next rotation.
Yeah, Tensa's last one up, and I think he might just be using... Oh, nope, Tensa also taken down by 19 Esports. We're down to 4 teams. Or, no, 5. Star Gaming is still alive. 19 Esports, Korean barbecue lovers, and APHELION. Korean barbecue lovers need this win, and they could potentially get it. 3 members. Oh, APHELION. Nate gets spotted. Hwayuya should be able to confirm that too, and he does. No, Hwayuya gets a second one actually. Wow. 2 of APHELION knock. Trick, last one up for APHELION Esports.
And you can see Korean barbecue lovers just to the south. I mean, Kwon getting a little bit interested inside of his vehicle, kind of making those rotations up towards the northern side. If he spots out the last member of APHELION, that could be it. That's them wiped. You see them peeking now. Trick will get the knock into the first one, but he's super low. The blue zone is chasing him, though. Oh, I was going to say, if Kwon didn't get that elimination right there, the blue zone certainly would have taken it. But APHELION, they're officially out. The zone moves again, and Hwayuya, he is so happy with his current position here, still alive. The zone moves to him. Korean barbecue lovers still with a good spot, but it looks like Nova has finally found them out. I feel like this is a Korean barbecue lovers and Nova fight, but 19 Esports kind of a wild card in this situation. They need to make their next rotation, and right now they're pushing towards Korean barbecue lovers.
Quite managing to just shoot the tip of the butt of Acer right there. That tree just not big enough. Acer will not manage to get revived. That could have been a difference maker when we come down to the very final moments. 19 Esports, they have 3, but they're all stuck in a shack, and Joey has them pinned. So does the Nova team. I don't know if they could make it out of that shack. You see it right there. The second they peek out, a hailstorm of bullets. This should indeed be Nova's game, unless if Korean barbecue lovers could pull out a huge 2v3, and we don't know what Hwayuya is going to do here. He's also the trump card pretty much for these teams.
That's true. Right now, Hayuya, he's looking towards Nova, and he just took out 2 members of the top team right now at APHELION. So if he's looking towards Nova, he could be stamping the win ticket for Korean barbecue lovers. So this is just a whole big situation where I'm not quite sure who's going to take this win. Just based off of manpower alone, should be Nova, but with the unknown of the solo and Korean barbecue lovers' current spread, them crawling around, we'll have to wait and see. Ren, super close to Joey, have not spotted each other. There we go, finally. Ren unfortunately spots out Joey. Korean barbecue lovers down 1 more member. There's 2 more solos left between the chicken dinner for Nova.
You know, one thing I learned about the Snake game is that if you're in the zone, it's better to just stop moving and just hyper aware yourself of any glimmer or any little slivers of movement once you're in that zone. Nova kept crawling though because they weren't fully yet into the zone, so that's why they kept moving. But I feel like Joey, he could have just stayed still, and he might have managed to catch that movement, and there was less chance for Nova to spot him out. But Joey will go down. Maybe Joey got a little bit too over aggressive, I almost want to say, wanting to control the entire edge of the zone. But now it's a 3v1v1. Should be Nova's game, but with the way Nova's positioned, might potentially get crossfired, but the circle does shift towards Nova's side, so Quan's got to make a move first before anyone else.
Yeah, the zone's like right in between Koi and Hayuya at this point, so obviously everybody actually still has to kind of move as of right now, and Hayuya is strictly looking towards Nova. Like, he's not even concerned about his south anymore. He probably has been doing the numbers, probably paying attention to Korean barbecue lovers. They're just focused on getting the 2nd place position now, and Nova, they don't want to mess this up, right? That's why they're staying so still as of right now. They know that there's only 2 people left to take down, but they don't quite know where they are just yet. Quan still moving. I'm surprised Rin wasn't able to spot him out, but yeah, no, not yet. I think he's just guessing with that Molotov right now.
Rin just has an idea. There has to be another player that was at the edge of that previous zone, so just tossing out a Molotov. Quan should go for the shots
No
here.
way.
He misses! Quan misses, but Hwayuya has to worry about the Nova player,
Oh my gosh.
not enough grass left to crawl, and Quan goes down. 3v1. Nova will finally stand up and take the chicken dinner. Nova, the performances today have been okay, but they needed a bigger one right now to shoot themselves back up in the leaderboards a little bit, and this was indeed the win they were looking for.
Yeah, they were in 6. Now who knows where they're going to be at this point. That was a pretty good win for them. A little upset for Korean barbecue lovers because he saw Hayuya up to the northern side, but right when he took those shots, and all of Nova snapped in his direction. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Right when they hear noise, that was the difference between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I feel like after he missed the first couple of shots, he kind of panicked a little bit. I was like, oh dang, I thought I saw him. Maybe he second guessed himself. But yeah, Nova definitely had their eyes set on him at that point. Nova take the win, and we'll see what the analyst desk has to say about that one after we come back from a quick short break.
And just like that, that swift short break is done. Nova end up getting that big chicken dinner right there. It's good to see some hashtag Nova Strongs in the chat. So you got them hard glasses up on your face. Dude, don't you miss them? Don't you miss them? You do. You do, Seven, huh? I know everybody out there knows what you're talking about. If those of you guys know that those glasses come from. Yeah, 4-7. But hey, you know what? Nova getting a dub regardless. We'd love to see that there in Air Gale. Let's take a look at the match ranking here, Sandstorm, as we got another one in the books. 24 total points for Nova. Kurt K. Barbecue Lovers finally getting up there on the leaderboards. Is that right, Sandstorm?
Heck yeah, it is. Korean Barbecue Lovers, these guys were starting off day 4 in 18th place with only 53 points. So the fact that they're able to bag 19 in this game is incredible for them, and it definitely will help them out in the leaderboard at the end of the day. Same can be said for Star Gaming. 17 points by the end of it, 12 placement points throughout this game, but of course, it was Nova that was able to clinch it with that winner chicken dinner. 19 Esports as well. Good thing for them that they managed to get a couple of kills towards the end of that game. Their positioning did not really help them in those last couple of zones. But again, Knights and APHELION, we're seeing those top 2 teams that are contesting for that first place spot. For now, it's not really much of a contest, but you know the Knights are slowly bringing it back. Only a 1-point difference in this game, though. Panthers, we're seeing them on the first page of the match ranking for this one. MEZEXIS Esports, again, another one of those middle tier teams that are not really giving a chance for the bottom tier teams to catch up. As long as they're performing, as long as they're getting themselves a couple of points in every single game, I think they're still going to be able to stay within that top 12, top 13, and get themselves within that contention for that Livik map. But we go a little bit further down, and we can see some of those teams that are still struggling here. 7 Most Wanted, 4 Bros, the Hit List. And honestly, I don't even want to bring up the struggle that back-to-back is going through right now, 7.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring it up, but I will. All right? Don't worry about that. I'll definitely bring that up. Back-to-back. What are we doing here? 1 point after a donut, 2. Remember, this team is going to end up sitting out the last match of today. They need to get as many points as they can. And back-to-back right now is just not looking on form. And it's crazy, too, because we saw some of the players performing well when they were, I believe it was day 2 and a little bit of day 1 too. We saw Polo G putting up great numbers. We saw J-Way putting up those great numbers too. But right now, they're nowhere to be found. And I'm hoping that they end up showing everybody why they are that back-to-back. Remember, every match counts. None of that league play, super weekend. No. You don't get that excuse anymore. You have to perform every single match.
I mean, yeah, first place at the end of this week is what, 20 points of bonus points? Imagine going to the finals with those 20 points. That's a whole game in first place plus, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you really have to perform at the top of your league right here in this league play, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the top damage of that last match. Hopefully we can see back-to-back come on back, but right now it's going to be Nova with the most damage in this one, Sandstorm.
Yeah, Nova indeed. After they got themselves 9 eliminations, they were able to get a couple of elims towards the end of that fight as well. Loving seeing Korean Barbecue Lovers as well showing up here. But again, you guys need to show up more than once. This game cannot just be a once-off performance for you guys. You are so far behind compared to all the other teams. So this performance, we have got to see it for the last couple of games as well of the day, and definitely an even stronger one when we come into the 5th and final day of the league play. PITTSBURGH Knights as well. They managed to get themselves 7 eliminations. We saw some decent damage. I think around the 4th or the 5th zone, they kind of struggled a little bit when the zone shifted away from them a little bit. So that kind of just gave them a little bit too much to go through. The struggle was just a little bit too hard, I feel, towards the very end. But you know, there was a couple of teams as well that performed. Star Gaming, good for them that they're taking a couple of fights here and there. But we need to see, again, a little bit more here, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, I need to see it big time. Look, I'm going to be absolutely straight up. I am looking towards that future, right? I want to see a team from North America perform on the global stage, not just here on that global stage. That's the only thing that matters to me. Prior to this tournament starting, the names of the Knights came to my mind, back to back. Now, after watching this, APHELION is one of those teams. I'm not going to lie, when it comes to even talking about these other teams, none of them have really been like, oh, this is going to be a team that can compete in my eyes. You know,
Jukes.
APHELION has shown that sign, but the Knights are going to have to really bring it up there too if they want to prove it. Let's take a look here at that APHELION versus the Knights. These are those two squads. that in my eyes have the only sort of contention, but in my eyes too, I want to see more from both these teams. I want to be confident going into those future stages, 7.
Yeah, and this is going to be the stats for today, okay? So don't be freaking out too much, viewers, all right? And the reason why we wanted to showcase this is because Knights is currently starting to perform. And the storyline that becomes, can they catch APHELION Esports? Are they doing what it takes? Keep in mind, APHELION Esports had a huge lead coming into today. And I mean, they still have a big lead on everybody. No matter what Knights is doing right now, I don't think they're going to be able to catch up APHELION Esports if APHELION Esports continues to play the way they have been playing. Even though right now, Knights are looking very scary. 13 ilms per match. 2,312 damage, averaging in 4th place. This is the Knights that Jukes has been expecting. And for APHELION Esports, I mean, those stats are nothing to be sad about. 4th place finish average, averaging better than what they have actually averaged before when they got all those chicken dinners. That means they have improved on one of the big question marks that it was, if they don't get chicken dinners, then they always end up having some issues and ended up on the bottom of the leaderboard. So it's good to see that, yeah, they're not getting chicken dinners, but guess what? They're starting to be a little bit more consistent. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, APHELION Esports stays at the top for right now with 221 points and 91 elimination points, which is just crazy to me. Ooh. Nova Esports, though, this is a big one too for Nova. For them to be able to push up to 2nd place, this is huge considering that pretty much, you know what, the last 2 matches, you could say they've only played with just 3 players. Good to see Nova there. I know Glitter Explosion is going to be happy about that. Knights, as we were talking about, 143 points. And just a mix-up here towards the bottom. I mean, between 4th place and all the way down to 7th place. The difference, Sandstorm, is just 13 points. It's very close.
Yeah, very close indeed. A very small margin for these teams towards the bottom here. But I do want to see that 2nd page of the overall ranking. I want to see who are those teams that have to show up towards the end. And like we mentioned before, Star Gaming now, they were, of course, like we mentioned, 18th or 16th place with 68 points, and now they're getting towards that 13th place, so they're getting closer. The margin's getting a little bit lower and lower, and now they're tied with Execute and only 3 points behind MEZEXIS, but we go a little bit higher. THIRDEYE, HQA Esports, and I have to shout out HQA. Very good start for them, considering the fact that they got their first chicken dinner in today's games, and the fact that WALLSTREETBETS gave them that opportunity. Love the fact that they capitalized on it, and now they're relieving some of that pressure and some of that, let's say, weak performance that we've seen in the first couple of days. But towards the bottom, back to back, they're 14th now. They're 14th. It's going to get harder and harder for these guys if they just keep performing this badly, that like we've seen today and like yesterday. They might not even make it into the first Livic map.
Yeah, not sure exactly what's going on with back-to-back. It's frustrating to watch, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, when it comes to the Knights, those teams on the global stage, they will not have a bad start. And for APHELION Esports, they got a lead. On the global stage, those teams will not lose that lead. So let's see what you can do.
Well, we're heading into the next Erangel match. We'll see what these teams could do right here. I do believe we're flying from the northern side all the way down south towards Military Island. And yeah, back to back, Span.
Yeah.
You're cheering for them, but they're not even in the top 12 right now. And they really want to be in the top 12 so they can at least play that Livic match.
Stop, it hurts. I know I really wanted them to do better, but even her Sandstorm kind of pointing it out once again. They're in 14th now. Last time we took a look, they were in 10th. They've fallen more. I mean, just like those in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, like all those total points right next to each other, I have to say it's kind of the same from 2nd down, honestly. Everybody is kind of close to each other at this point. That's why even just one not good game, there's the chance for them to just waterfall down the leaderboard. And I think that's what's happening right now. I'm a little bit concerned with that.
Luckily for back-to-back this game, they would be contesting Nova once again. You see here with this plane path, they're stretching towards Milta, and Nova does a split loot right around the place they're dropping. But Nova will be sitting out here, so back-to-back don't have to worry about fighting Nova, and they'll also get a very nice first circle. I remember back in the days, whenever we get a circle down to the southeast, these are the circles that back-to-back typically really perform well in. They'll play a a 2-1-1 split of some sort in this type of first zone, get control of the Milta area and even the lumberyard area just south of prison if it goes that way. So hopefully this will be a big game for them because they do need to make it in at least into that top 12 position.
Yeah, they have to at least go up at least two more ranks. It looks like they're already driving on over. Right when they saw this zone, they know that they don't want to loot where they landed anymore. Maybe they got a little bit of loot, but now they just need to focus on getting further inside of the zone, getting themselves a little bit of a better spot. And they're driving straight towards Milta. It does look like MEZEXIS kind of was thinking the same thing, landed more towards the center of the islands, but now moving right on over to Novo. I don't think that they're going to cross the bridge just yet. Doesn't look like they're on the trajectory for that, but that means that they might be trying to make that rotation up to the north soon. And wow, APHELION, they're actually already making their first rotation too.
Yeah.
They probably have themselves a little bit of things, right? No, I don't think so. They have nothing. They're just driving. They want to make sure that they have a good spot first.
Yeah, I wonder where they're deciding to loot. We see teams make this type of fast rotation where they give up all their loot in their usual spot when they know there's a big city or something that's open that they can loot. Now, they should know Milta is pretty much taken because, back-to-back will always go there no matter what. And they should know about Korean barbecue lovers split. So that only kind of leaves them Milta Power if they are planning on driving all the way to Milta Power to start their looting. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't run into the Korean barbecue lovers or back-to-back team because, I mean, when you have no loot, there's really nothing you can do, even if it's a 4v1 situation.
Yeah, you could just keep driving. I mean, there's nothing to fight back whatsoever. And actually, right now, I think you're right. They're driving right in between those two teams right now, kind of in the direction of Milta Power. I think that's where they're going to end up. So, I mean, I think that was a smart risk, right? I mean, the plane path all the way to the west, and then the zone all the way to the east.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to be taking their time in this looting phase to loot on up and then make their rotations. They're getting ahead of all of that as of right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the minimap, and yeah, they are continuing on towards Milta Power. Seeing one of them split a little bit more north right now. Maybe going towards Lipovka.
Ooh, you're right.
Yeah. Getting really close to Korean barbecue lovers, so a little bit scared for them. But they are driving to Lipovka. I think they had a discussion. I think initially it was Milta Power, and then somebody suggested, what if we go to Lipovka? And maybe someone mentioned maybe Korean barbecue lovers are there, but we know they do a split south of Mansion. So they'll be okay. So this rotation works out for them. I do think Milta Power might have had a little bit more better loot than Lipovka. But either way, they don't have to worry about the entire western side half of the circle, which is where I would say 80% of the teams are, where they're going to be rotating in from. So it is a smart rotation, but it's not the end-all be-all, right? We see teams that don't rotate at all, and they still sometimes end up top 3 or getting the chicken dinner. So it just all depends on how you play it. But that is a very calculated decision, and it's good to see APHELION, doing their homework and improvising in certain situations. That's always a good staple of any top-tier team.
They're going to have to be a little bit careful, though, because if they went to Milta Power, I wouldn't have worried about anybody making a rotation into them at all. But now, choosing Lipovka, they're going to have to watch out for those that ended up landing around the northern side of this map. So the Knights, they're in Yasnaya. Who knows? Maybe they're going to go towards the coast. We already know that THIRDEYE, they're up near Severny. They might make that rotation all the way around to Yasnaya, all the way towards Manton, or maybe even Lipovka. I feel like a lot of teams use that road right off of Lipovka to drive south, into the lung by Milta Power. Maybe that's why they wanted it. Maybe they want to be on that road to potentially hold people out, but otherwise, a lot of people are going to be driving by them.
Yeah, and we'll see how they play this one out. But you bring up a really good point. Maybe they purposely are putting themselves in the sight lines of rotations just so they can pick up those eliminations. Anyways, though, everyone else playing pretty standard, looting where they usually do, regardless of where the circle pops. Only APHELION doing something different, and here's back-to-back playing that split I was talking about. They like to put one player at each of these houses. Kill switch looking like he's struggling a little bit trying to get up on that roof, taking some fall damage each time he falls down, actually. And here we have Korean barbecue lovers. After they finish their split, they are going to take the lumberyard area. And Most Wanted rotating by very close right now to the team of 4 bros. Looks like Most Wanted are just driving around back and forth. I don't know if they scouted out some vehicles and they're debating on, you know, crashing the compound because they only see one vehicle. Maybe they're just continuing their rotation. They do have to be careful about fighting here because that is on the direction of the Panthers where they rotate in from.
I mean, I just don't want to see Most Wanted or Fro Bros get in a fight because they're current bottom 2 teams. Like, just stay away from each other, please, y'all. Like, you guys gotta go ahead and stay alive further into the game. But yeah, I feel like getting in a fight there isn't smart because you're right. The Panthers is shortly going to be making a rotation right behind them, and it's not a super favorable location. I mean, maybe if they were confident in taking that fight, maybe getting a couple of early eliminations where, you know, not too many people will be around is advantageous. But otherwise, I don't know. I feel like kind of leaving alone is the better idea.
Circle starting to close in. A lot of teams still rotating in. We see the Chosen smack in the middle right there, holding a 2-2 split on both sides of the road. HQA close by to them, just controlling that hilltop on the western side. Back to back, playing closer to Milta still, but still playing somewhat split to control more territory. And Korean barbecue lovers, those are currently your teams that are kind of postured up in the center. Everyone else still rotating in, trying to find their home in the first zone. A lot of teams rotating into each other on the northwestern side, outside in the blue zone.
Ooh,
19
you're right.
Esports. I do think that is they're so close to each other. I can't make out their names, but we see them now. It's Execute and 19 Esports.
And Angry, I think. I think Angry ended up getting super split. 2 of them already by Yaznaya, the other 2 kind of in the middle of that. Yeah, so there's a couple of teams up here. We're getting to watch it for right now. Execute looks like they were able to kind of stay together now, crossing that bridge into Yaznaya. I think 19 Esports just purposely kind of scattered. Yeah, they kind of created a hole for them. And the zone decides to basically center on this. I mean, it's going to stay up to the north. That means MEZEXIS down to the southern side. And the Panthers are definitely going to have to make a cross shortly. But it's not as drastic as a rotation. It does look like a fight in the center has officially started out. Who was that? I think I saw damage kind of ringing out around Korean barbecue lovers.
Yeah, Korean barbecue lovers pick up a point, and I think they picked it up onto TC. Yeah, I do believe so. And we see APHELION on the northeast. They're not rotating. I think they wanted to stay there to camp the rotation. So you might have been right about that. They could have had an easier rotation into the center of this new zone, but it does not look like they really, you know, prioritize the move there. We'll see if it works out for them as back-to-back getting into a third-party engagement, taking down one of the Korean barbecue lovers. It is a long-range knock, though, so I don't know if back-to-back will play aggressive off that. As you can see, they still have players in Milta playing heavily split, and MEZEXIS and Most Wanted getting into a scuffle. Alucard is stuck in a really bad spot by himself. He gets one, though.
Ooh.
Almost gets the second one. He's going to go aggro. He gets 2. Maybe even the third one.
No way.
Oh,
No
Alucard.
way.
Alucard just absolutely decimated MEZEXIS there with a 1v3. He also had J7 shooting him from behind. Oh, here's the last player, inactive. Give it to him. Give it to him. Just let Alucard have the full 1v4. Man, what a play by Alucard. It looked like he was pretty much done for him, but instead picks up 3 points for his team.
We've gotten hints of that in the past couple of games, I feel like, from Alucard, that little shine of just being able to play that way. So now we finally got to see it. 1v3. That was really hard. He was like below half HP too. So unfortunately, if they just had that, I don't know. I thought it was over right when that third player appeared, but he's fine. He's still now far away from his team, though, so he's going to have to make a big crossing to get over towards the rest of them. But if he stays against the beach down to the southern side, he's going to make it there easily. Like, he just picked up 3 elimination points for his team, like, no sweat, and he's going to have a free rotation back to him.
Yeah, very good play by Alucard there. Most Wanted, they need the points, too. Like, they are far away from that top 12. So, I mean, if they can pick up more elimination points, albeit just go for it. Even if that's a 1v3 every single time. I mean, I definitely won't mind seeing that. Execute. Looking like they have looking like a chicken with a head cut off, just driving in circles, driving into each other. Not sure what they're trying to do here as northern side. Now a lot of teams rotating in, and interestingly enough, the Knights playing one of the biggest 1-1-1 splits I've ever seen on the edge of zone. That has to mean they're specifically looking to pick up frags off of rotations.
Yeah, and as of right now, I feel like the majority of them are kind of skipping them, continuing to go over towards that northeastern side. I feel like more teams are going to be going around APHELION than the Knights, but you're right. Here we go, finally getting to take a look at it. Two of them around that up-down compound there, and Xenox
my.
yeah, who cares what I was saying? It doesn't matter up there on the northern side what they're at, because they have to get into this new zone, and it is smack centering up on Lung, the Lung of Milta Power. Everybody needs to make it there. Everybody's in their vehicles. The only people that are happy right now is definitely Most Wanted and Korean barbecue lovers.
I just realized you use the term Lung of Milta Power twice now. Are you referring to the thing that kind of looks like a lung?
Yeah,
Between Milta Power and Milta? Okay.
that's what it's called in...
I see it now. I
Uh-oh.
see it now. Yeah, the Lung of Milta Power. Well, yep, that is indeed the center. Most Wanted, they take arguably the strongest position in the Lung of Milta Power, that giant factory, right? Most Wanted will have hopefully a good game here and potentially make it up into the top 12. A lot of teams still scrambling to make their way down on that hardship. Now, just imagine if APHELION took Milta Power to begin with. They would probably be at that factory, but we'll see how they play it out. They still have 4 players still up. A lot of teams all have 4 players still up. It's going to not be looking that way for long as APHELION Trick gets knocked by the Knights.
I was gonna say, they're driving down like in the midst of a billion other teams, it looks like, from my perspective. So that's a hard rotation. Panthers even now making their rotation by... Wait, what?
Oh,
They're crashing on a back-to-back.
Okay. They drove by, got shot at, instantly U-turned around, crash in, and take the fight. But it's not looking good. Oh, it is a massacre on both sides. The Panthers lost one, but back-to-back. You know, usually controlling that coastline, you play a little bit split because typically people just keep driving when they get shot at. But not the Panthers. That is the one team that you do not want to shoot at when you're split up, because they will U-turn around and crash right into you. The speed at which they U-turned and crashed into the compound, I mean, I heard it in your voice. You're like, oh, they're driving across, and then, oh, wait a second, and back to back.
Gave me whiplash. Yeah, that hard turn gave me whiplash. I'm so surprised.
Back to back cannot catch a break. They went from looking good, controlling the coastline, to eliminated. 1 elimination point. In a blink of an eye. You do not want to mess with the Panthers.
No. Nope.
Not at all. No.
That's what we keep talking about.
That was disgusting.
Too, right?
That was disgusting. Jeez.
And they're aggressive. We knew that. You know, you said that usually those on the coast are split, and they knew that. They decided to take it. I mean, that's how they've been getting their points. Like the other teams towards the top, like really, they've been getting points more from placement points are like a mixture. For the Panthers, like their eliminations are higher. Like they're definitely the elim heavy point players. So, like I was surprised, but I really shouldn't have.
Oh, a 3. Oh, okay, I thought that was a 3-man spray, but Fate knocked one, solo locked another, and then one of them, you know, got so startled he fell out of the car, according to the elimination feed. But Execute picking up 4 elims right there, looking good, and I think Execute is exactly 12th place overall, if not somewhere around that area. So they're also doing pretty good today, especially after getting a 2nd place finish in that one Erangel game where Nice got 20 elims. So on a better path, the circle did center up once again, you know, keeping that lung of Milta Power right there, right in play. APHELION, I think, is down to 3 now. Yeah, one of them went down to the Knights. Knights still have 4 up. And, oh no, Knights are down to just 3, and one of them are getting revived too.
Yeah, and they're pretty split too. Cube's pretty far away as PANTHERS kind of making a push up that mountain. But it looks like Execute, they were able to take down the majority of 19 Esports, and it doesn't stop from there. They continue to push and be aggressive, and right in third eye, they go. No knock from there, so they just get it. Looks like, whoa, what is happening? Oh my goodness, could you
He was on the roof.
to get a knock to Execute? Yeah. That nade though will go ahead, get a knockback onto Bolty, but at this point I think Third Eye is pretty happy in their strength of holding this position. Execute still is there though, they have to get rid of Solo.
Oh man, where is Solo at? Solo should have been covering that push right there. Solo on the back line, he had that ridge, but he might have gotten distracted with something. Yeah, Solo right here. I think his job was to protect the push. But they go down in 19 Esports. Quick trade out of the Knights. Good job for the Knights, but the Knights are down to 2 players. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the Knights were doing the previous 2 circles because I called it out. They were very far split on the northwestern edge, and yeah, they got hard shifted really hard, but if they just played a little bit more positioning, they would have been able to get down into that hard shift way, way easier. APHELION Esports right next to Most Wanted. At this is new for me. This is a newer addition building here. Nice to see them adding a bit more cover here and there in this sparse area, which usually has no cover. The Koenigsegg garage, but they are kind of just trapped there now next to the sightlines of Most Wanted.
Yeah, only way to get out really is pop some smokes, drive around, but then go where? Like, they're just completely in the open to Most Wanted. So they're going to be hoping that they're going to stay on the edge of that zone for as long as possible. Back up to the story of Execute. Looks like Solo's still alive. It looks like Third Eye decided not to push that. Probably didn't want to get stuck and trying to figure out what that last solo is and potentially lose one of their teammates from making that push. So he's going to escape for now in a loud vehicle, though. He's going to be driving by Knights, angry amateurs, like a couple of people. So we'll see if Extreme can stay for much longer. Looks like Third Eye, though, they're starting to make their trek down this mountain because where they were previously is not inside this zone.
Not inside the zone, and there's going to be a lot more teams on inside the next zone potentially as we come into the next shift. You see how the teams are spread out? The Chosen smack dab in the middle with only 3 up, and its circle goes a little bit north right there. The Knights are in zone at that edge, and Third Eye also having a good spot to play with. The Chosen need to be careful, though. It looks like HQA might be posturing up to take that compound, and the Panthers and Star Gaming on the south have to move in. Same with Most Wanted and APHELION Esports.
I just realized that I just call Extreme... I think I called Extreme Execute Extreme. What is happening? They're out,
I didn't
though.
even catch
but
that.
yeah, my mistake. Something's happening. Execute is now out. There we go. They got executed. They did make that rotation right into the people we thought they would up on that northern side, Angry Amateurs. And Most Wanted, they're just... They want these eliminations. Yeah. I mean, why not, right? Like, they're right outside of this next zone. They know that there's people there. They're going for it. Alucard trying to go for that spray, but so much covered smoke. And
they're going to stop.
Yeah. I thought APHELION would just leave, but no, they want to take the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any real position to play in zone that has cover from this factory position. So if they go ahead in front of Most Wanted, they'll get taken down regardless. So trying to take the fight to Most Wanted, but a nice, nasty angle from Saint will get a double right there. And Zuki trying to get one back with the nade. Oh, this one should be good as Saint is pretty low. Takes a little bit more damage, does not go down, and gets the first aid off. Looks like APHELION Esports, this is going to be one of the worser finishers for them here.
Yeah. Yep, and they go out all the way from Sleepless, who decided to make a big rotation down on the southern side. Out goes APHELION, but not before Third Eye goes out. Looks like they ended up taking a big fight up on the northern side. Of course, we haven't really been paying attention to those right here now on the southern side of this circle. HQ Way fighting the Panthers as they make that push on in. The Chosen right in front of them, and there's Star like right in the center. There's a lot of people, like it's dense in population right here, and Star trying to desperately make it crash to safety. We can see the HQ Way is capitalizing off some eliminations onto them as they're trying to get towards the Chosen. Looks like they're going to be safe for now. They have one person left, but right on the edge of zone, they're not going to be able to make any more huge plays for now.
HQA taking the fight to the Panthers. Freddy goes prone, but a second too late. Crystal Pig spots him out, and that's the Panthers eliminated with 5 eliminations. HQA will take their spot instead and play on the ridge lines. Probably continue to sweep across right into Most Wanted also. Meanwhile, Knights fighting Angry Amateurs up to the northern side. A lot of casualties being suffered. We're down to just 9 teams, 27 remaining. And the next circle's already going to shift. It is going so fast right now.
Wow. Yeah, it is, and decides to center on up. Only Korean barbecue lovers are happy about this. Star Gaming looks like their solo was just found out. Most Wanted trying to take this a little bit slow, getting the res onto at least one of their last members here. Gotta stay as strong as possible as HQA making their push out of their compound right into the Chosen and potentially the fight with Most Wanted. At this point, Most Wanted, like, how are they gonna make any rotation except towards this fight that's about to break out? Because Korean barbecue lovers, they have their eyes zoomed in on this direction, right? They hear so much fighting that there's no direction for Most Wanted to go. Nice nade coming through from Fan CC, getting a nice knock onto HQA right before they make that push. Really, whoever wins this southern side, like, I would say they control the south, but honestly, Korean barbecue lovers, they're gonna have a great angle. I don't even know if anybody's gonna be able to survive down here.
Korean barbecue lovers, this game should put them in the top 12 if they play it correctly. They have 4 alive, they have 6 eliminations, and they have the hard compound to play with. Most Wanted, yeah, last ditch effort, tries to take that compound. Sleepless 1v4 situation will get pieced up. Korean barbecue lovers up to 8 eliminations. Wall Street Bets gets a long range knock onto them, but Wall Street Bets are in zone. So Wall Street Bets shouldn't be pushing this. They should be staying right where they are, controlling the northwestern side. And the Knights are still alive with the 2 players being very, very resilient as a team right now.
Oh man, it's gonna be hard though, because here comes all of 4 Burrows. They literally have all 4 of them here. Now making the push onto PITTSBURGH Knights, and Tenso's HP basically almost doesn't exist there. Almost couldn't see his HP bar whatsoever. And they're out in the open. Oh my goodness, if Korean barbecue lovers just turns around for a second, they're gonna be able to spot out the Knights in the complete and utter open. 4 Bros, they need to clean this up quickly though, because not only do they have to get rid of the Knights, they have to make sure that they find themselves a good place to hide or at least stay, or Korean barbecue lovers won't have an angle. Of course, it looks like Knights will in fact go down. 4 Bros making that push that we were just talking about, and Wall Street Bets, they were taking the western side, but it looks like now they're taking a look up here towards 4 Bros, getting some knocks onto them.
It is all out chaos, and I think it's going to get a little bit quieter now. Wall Street Bets with 4, getting some revives. Korean barbecue lovers sitting pretty here, and the Knights down to just, oh, nope, Knights are down to no players as they get eliminated into 5th place. Down to 4 teams, Angry Amateurs with 1, Wall Street Bets and Korean barbecue lovers, a full team. Where's the circle going to favor though? Korean barbecue lovers or Wall Street Bets? It's going to favor Wall Street Bets instead.
Honestly, all of these teams, this is pretty exciting, I will have to say, because all these teams are a little bit lower on this leaderboard. So whatever placements and eliminations they get here is going to be huge for them. It's going to be so impactful to the overall leaderboard that I'm excited to see where they'll end up at the end of this. But all 4 of these guys, like all 4 teams, they needed this. The zone does close. It looks like it decides to center around a crate, and that's about it. That's whose circle this is. Nobody in particular. Wall Street Bets, they're deciding that they're going to have to sweep the edge, it looks like. They're definitely paying more attention to 4 Bros just to the northern side, while Master OP is kind of keeping an eye towards Korean barbecue lovers, but I think that's the direction they're going to have to move, and that's probably what we're going to see in terms of fights. Looks like they're kind of splitting for right now, trying to make sure Korean barbecue lovers don't get too far up the side of this hill.
Yeah, Wall Street Bets need to be careful, because I was just going to say they should need to watch out for Laurie, who was trying to flank them from the side, but 24K, so aware, gets that player down. Now the flank of Wall Street Bets is safe. Korean barbecue lovers, they are getting pelted by the side of Wall Street Bets. Everyone taking shots there, and that is Angry Amateurs also out. We're down to just the 3 teams. 4 Bros, Wall Street Bets, and Korean barbecue lovers. Korean barbecue lovers did lose a player. This looks like it's going to be Wall Street Bets game. Hopefully they don't choke this one out like they did to HQA on that Miramar match.
All 4 of them are still alive. 6 eliminations for themselves so far. I mean, right now, they are the strongest compared to the rest of the team. Korean barbecue lovers, they only have 2 people left up, and there's no way that they're going to reach Joey without some extreme movement happening. And as you can see, they're already focusing on Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets can't really make any aggressive moves towards either team, though, because they're at that point where can't get to 4 bros because Korean barbecue lovers is watching, and vice versa, right? So they're just gonna have to sit there and take it a little bit longer.
Oh.
I was gonna say as Acer tosses some nades towards them, but nope, Korean barbecue lovers is out, and Wall Street Bets already on the move up to the north. They know exactly where 4 bros is. The res comes through, but they're barely any HP. Yeah, you're right. This is it. Some nades coming down, and that is it. That was Wall Street Bets' game.
Very good game for Wall Street Bets right there. And they had to fight their way in. They just controlled that northwestern side, every circle shift in. And a very dominating performance. 11 eliminations. Finally, they get their chicken dinner. They could have 2 today, but I think they're just happy with a really, really good improvement of their overall performance coming into day number 4.
And look at the damage and damage received once again. We just saw almost a similar thing with the Knights earlier. The Knights a little bit more extreme, but that also is pretty impressive for an entire game. Keeping all 4 members up the entire time. Like, I swear I didn't see any of their HP down at all the entire time I was focusing on them.
Yeah, just really good crossfire disciplines, using the ridges to their advantage, and also the utility. So this Wall Street Bets team, you know, we didn't really talk too much about them today. They are putting on a show, just like, you know, with the Knights and APHELION. So going into, you know, the next day, I mean, we still got a match left to go. This Wall Street Bets team, they could be another contending team that we have to keep an eye out for. And we'll be right back with the analyst desk after a quick short break.
Let's go, Wall Street Bets. Get that big chicken dinner right there. I love seeing various different squads be able to get some good performances here and there. Let's take a look at the match ranking and see how that one ended up right here. By the way, guys, make sure you're using that hashtag PMPLNA when you're all talking to us on that Twitter. Wall Street Bets, 26 points. Korean barbecue lovers, 23 total, 7.
Yeah, I've seen already some of that hashtag PMPLNA in the YouTube chat. You got to use it on Twitter and Instagram as well. By the way, Wall Street Bets, 26 points. And as Sute said, hopefully they weren't going to be able to choke this one. Was it Sute or Sandstorm? I can't remember if it was the coach or not. It happened while the game was going on. And guess what? They didn't choke. They came out with the win, and that's what we wanted to see at the end. Continue with that aggression that you have had. Don't stop. Don't let that team reset. And ultimately, it ended up working out wonders for them. But we do have to give some props to the Korean barbecue lovers, because with the 23 points there, that's going to be looking good. This is a team that is fighting to get up to at least 12th place. So hopefully tomorrow they can get a chance at playing at the Livic match and get those extra bonus points. We do keep going down. PITTSBURGH Knights, I mean, 10 points for them. And what's different this time is you don't see APHELION Esports anywhere on this first page. But something that I am starting to see a little bit more consistent too is the Panthers are with 6 points. And I was talking about APHELION Esports, Sandstorm. You cursed them a little bit, brother.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dang it.
1 point.
Why are you looking at me? I didn't do anything. Look, APHELION Esports, we mentioned this before. When these guys either show up in top 3, top 4, or they end up towards the bottom 4. And this time they didn't really make it towards the end. Although I feel like the last movement that they made in the zone, that fight, I feel like that was a little bit too risky, and that took them out a little bit too early in the game. But looking towards the rest here, 2 teams that I want to look at. Star Gaming, only 2 points in this one after having good performances in the last 2 games. And you know what? Going towards the very bottom again. I'm just going to throw it back to you, Seven. What happened to your boys? What's going on?
my boys are, I don't know where they're at. I don't know if they're still following the bad luck and bad play that they got from PMWI, but they're truly not on a good scratch, man. And hopefully they'll start picking it up. A lot of these players can get within their heads. Maybe this week they're gonna have to just scratch it off if they don't end up being within the top 12, and then going into the next phase, then they'll start reviving. Because the past 2 days, I mean, today alone, they only got 6 points, and yesterday they only got 9 points in 4 matches, today and yesterday. That's crazy, Hodges. That's not the back-to-back we know.
No, it isn't. You know, and to be honest with you, as we take a look at the top damage here, I am going to give a pass, okay, to APHELION Esports. Only reason why I'm giving them a pass is because they are a new squad together, so they have room for improvement, and they're doing really well, okay?
They can do better?
Now, they could do better, and they have to do better. They have to do better if they want to compete on the global stage, period, right? But you know what? For a new squad, I give them a little bit of room for breathing. The Knights and back-to-back, these are 2 monster squads with monster rosters. They have zero excuse to have bad performances here, you know? I guess we'll all see at the end of the whole tournament, right, how this works out. So, I mean, I can kind of leave that open. But at the same time, with this new format, it's just shocking to see these kind of performances so far. But the Knights, they've been coming back to back. Man, we're waiting for that comeback. Ain't that right, Sandstorm?
Yeah, we might be waiting a little bit too long. Who knows if they're still going to be able to make it in that top 12. Korean barbecue lovers, like we see, 2.8k damage with 13 elims. WALLSTREETBETS getting themselves 11 at the end of that one as well. So very good performances for themselves. But you know what? I want to know more about Korean barbecue lovers, Hot Jukes. There's got to be more.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see some more from them. You know, Acer, the legend himself, the man has hit some serious 1v4s, but this is also a new roster, new squad, and I hate to say it, but this is something that's very common in North America. Every time we have a new split, roster changes always happen, and we kind of always see these growing pains, and I want to wait and see a squad just stay together and just dominate, but we'll have to wait and see as time goes on. You know what? I can just say my dreams. I'm allowed to say that, right? Let's take a look at the Korean barbecue. Kind of a line graph, see exactly how all their performance has been here in the last 5 games. Sandstorm, what do you think about that?
I mean, look, the last match, like we've seen, coming into day number 4, they were getting only like, what, 1.2 points, but starting off today, we can see the 19 points that they were able to get themselves, and of course, with the 13 eliminations that they were able to get in the end of this game as well, getting themselves 23 points. So slowly but surely, starting to climb up for the KBBQ side. And like we mentioned, these guys started off in 18th, and I feel like, you know what, 18th place, I don't think it's a curse. I think it's a blessing. We saw what happened with the last team that was 18th place. We saw what the Knights was able to do within 5 games.
Whoa,
who knows?
Whoa.
Well, all right. Too much?
I don't
wishful
know
thinking.
about all that.
Wishful thinking.
Look, a man can dream, you know? A man can dream. Who knows? Maybe I just love Korean barbecue a little bit too much. I don't know. But
I mean, let me tell you right now, the only thing that the Knights and Korean barbecue lovers have in common is that both their names start with a K. Okay? I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's about it. The rest we'll have to wait and see. You know, hopefully we could see some good eliminations and come back, and I can say that later on, but I doubt it. So, Korean barbecue lovers, I love you guys, but I'll talk to you about y'all more when I see y'all in the top 3. Okay?
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Sandhawk map performance as we go into the jungle for the last match. Average damage, average eliminations, and guess what? We don't have 7. Average healing.
I knew it. I was hoping you would say that too, because if we did have an average healing, guess who would be taking that? It would be none other than Nova Esports, because that team, every single time we go into Sandhawk, they're like pretty much a guaranteed 2nd place. Somehow, some way, even if in a rotation they do end up getting into a fight, they end up surviving, or at least one player ends up surviving, and they go with the heal off. I would like to see them play a little bit more aggressive, but hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Right now, whatever you guys are doing is going great. The Panthers, I mean, this is a team that usually does pretty well in Sandhawk. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to be able to do. And then one of the teams that we're actually not seeing here on this map performance for Sandhawk is going to be Knights. Knights is going to be getting a chance to play this upcoming Sandhawk. And with the way they have been performing, keep in mind, usually with Sandhawk, you're able to just third party a lot more. Yesterday, when we actually got a chance to see Knights, they were playing super, super passive, waiting for the right moment, not playing as aggressive, checking all angles. They were actually laying down at one point, just waiting to see where the circle was going to go. I want to see what kind of Knights we're going to be seeing on this next match. And let us know who's going to win this upcoming Sandhawk. Use that hashtag PMPL North America. NA, baby.
That's right. Hashtag PMPLNA on that Twitter. Use it on that Instagram. Tag us as well. Easy retweet us, like I always like to say. Of course, also got to give a big thank you to Monster Energy, our official energy drink partners here for the PMPL. And, you know, when it comes to these squads, oh, I see Seven. He's got that sippy sip sip, and he's getting ready to watch some Sandhawk action. And I am ready for it too. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't want to see no messing around, okay? There's no excuses here. How many tournaments have we seen, Seven, be decided by 1 point? How
Too
many?
many.
Too
You know
many.
what, Nova just sent me a package. Oh. Yeah. Yep. That's the package that Nova just sent me.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Get that heal up going. Get them first aids and them backpacks. We're headed to Sandhawk. Spad Cargo and Zute, take it away. Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you. We're down to the final game of the day, and it is gonna be Sandhawk. Now, we know one thing is tried and true. That's the heal shot coming out of Nova. However, I want to see what the Knights can do now that they've had this kind of newfound revitalization, right? I want to see them absolutely crush it here now on Sandhawk, because we've said the Knights, when they're firing on all cylinders, man, they could really pick up those elimination points. And what better map to do it on than Sandhawk?
Especially now that they don't have to worry about the pressure of the Panthers and Wall Street Bets right below them. Look at that. Panthers, Wall Street Bets, Start Gaming back-to-back are not playing in this match. That means back-to-back. They're ending off today in 15th. You know, my goal for them was 10th, and they're definitely going to be missing that. And look at that Nova in that third place position compared to the Knights. If the Knights know that Nova is going to be doing their med strat on this map, that means the Knights are definitely going to have to pick up the pace to ensure that they, if they want to, hold on to that second place position for the end of today.
And we already have one casualty, Angry Amateurs and Most Wanted doing a split drop, pretty much very similar to one another, taking a few 1v1s. Angry Amateurs already got one. Here we have Mayo, level 1 vest, level 1 helmet, with the Vector, very deadly weapon. I don't know if he's got the extended mag, though, because without it, he's only got 19 bullets. Sleepless, though, has the DBS, and they're moving back and forth. They hear each other's footsteps here. No vest, however, for Sleepless. So a small, quick burst by the Vector from Mayo should secure him this 1v1 win. Playing game of chicken right now. Mayo trying to bait out some shots, bait out some ammo. Maybe do a cheeky jump shot there. Nope, not going to take it. I think he's just trying to get Sleepless to use up all his ammo, but he finds a vest, and both of them are going to hop away from each other. And on the other side of things, though, DIY, do it yourself. Can he do it against two players? Saint takes a peek. He gets Sank. Alucard's also really low. He just needs one more shot. Switches to VSS. The pre-fire, not good enough. And Alucard, with the pump of the DBS, we'll get that one. Hey, this man did a 1v3 earlier. Leave him to do a 1v1. That's easy for him. You also get the revive onto Saint, so that's a huge win right there for the Most Wanted team.
It was definitely a little bit too close for comfort for me, though. I definitely was gritting my teeth in that situation. Looks like 4Bros, the hit list, are also going to be taking some shots towards each other. Lori, unfortunately, finding themselves knocked, and the hit list are going to be able to confirm that. Super far up to the northern side. The rest of 4Bros, they're too far away to do anything. So that's going to be an unfortunate situation for them. It actually looks like the hit list also is missing one member as well. So I think that was a little bit of revenge. 4Bros got a member of the hit list. Hit list will get one back.
Yeah, and the zone, by the way, is on the southeastern side. Corey pretty much smack dab in the middle, meaning this could be another potential good game for the Knights. They have an easy rotation there from boot camp. They're going to be taking that hilltop position again, as we saw that they did from the previous day. Nova doing a very, very wide 1-1-1 split now that they're no longer contested by anyone down there. 4Bros did hot drop on them in the very first day, but they quickly changed their mind when they lost that fight. So Nova will have free reign of all the first aid kits in the world on Sandhog.
I mean, they're used to the hot drop at that point, right? Remember in the past events, Sami
yeah.
always getting contested.
That went on for like, I don't know, like 3-4 weeks in a row. And that was when I think 4Bros had they had Leon at the time, who's a very strong veteran player. I think he still plays competitively, but now for the Southeast Asia side. But I remember when they had Leon, they could put up a fight against Nova, but without that veteran player, I think they decided to cut their losses and just give Nova the spot. And the Knights, ooh, lasers, taking down Saint and getting the confirmation, most importantly.
Oh man, most wanted. They're just getting bullied at this point. Poor Alucard, now the last one alive. Oh no, Sleepless is still alive if I'm not mistaken either. So 2 of them still up. Yeah, there we go. Very split though, I'll have to say. And Alucard, he is in no position whatsoever.
He used to play with the Knights. This will be a nice little revenge story. And
no!
Oh, the drop shot out of Coops too. Woo! He literally ducked beneath the 3rd and 4th burst of Alucard.
Yeah.
That's some fast reactions right there. I don't think they had any idea Alucard would be there right behind that tree. But man, Knights looking good. I mean, just each individual player of the Knights, powerhouses, right? Like literal fraggers. Spec, when he used to play for Boring Protocol, he was a top fragger there. Coops is Coops, obviously. Tensa, since the beginning that he started playing, Tensa was always considered one of the most cerebral players. Like he could really, play just perfectly under intense, stressful situations. And Xenox, the best CQC player with the best movement out of all of North America. Like it's not a surprise that the Knights, if any team could go from 18th place to 2nd place in a day, it would be the Knights, right? They could do it. And that kind of makes me question, what if they didn't sandbag day 1 and day 2? They would probably be above even the likes of APHELION, who has an even crazier point stat line and point spread compared to everyone else.
Potentially, I would be curious to see what that total points would have been. I'm also more so really curious if they had some sort of, like, after last night, I'm sure they ended up like having a meeting, potentially did some VOD review, something. Like, I want to know what they said. They came in today obviously with a mission. I mean, that's everybody's mission, is to try and get harder on this leaderboard, but they're very much succeeding. So I just want to know, I wish I could hear what it was that ended up getting them so inspired or fired up for this. But they're doing really well, and they have a really strong position in the center of the zone as of right now.
Yeah. The craziest thing for me watching the Knights play right now is that they look like they're playing normal, right? This is the level that they play at normally. Like last split, this is the level we saw them play at. Like right now, it looks like they're insane. Because if we want to compare them to day 1 and day 2, yeah, they're insane. But this is just how they're supposed to be playing. Like the formations are right, the cover fire is there. They're just natural god reflexes with how well their aim is. That's just what they've had since they've been together as a team. So I want to say it can only go up from here. And I'm so glad we're only week 1 in, right? There's still 2 more weeks after this that we'll get to see the Knights, hopefully in this prime form, continuing to play at the pace that they're playing at.
100%. I'm really curious now to see, this is only week 1, how the rest of this event is going to unfold, especially with a new format. We know that as of right now, APHELION Esports towards the top. Basically, I'm excited just to see over the course of this entire event. PITTSBURGH Knights, obviously, they only needed 1 game to kind of get back into it, but now APHELION and the Knights kind of going back at each other for these next 2 weeks. I'm curious to see how that's going to go, with the Knights now being, back to their normal selves. HQA, looks like Crystal Pig, unfortunately, going to find his demise, as Dope has found them on this bridge, and looks like they're going to keep on hunting. They're actually very split from each other as of right now. HQA, I feel like they're not in a position to have been able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think they were expecting to be camped by Dope. Dope obviously looking to camp out HQA. Man, that's one of the toughest things about Sandhawk, right? The amount of camping that goes on, not in the late games from Snakes, but just in the very first circle. Teams
Yeah.
like, that circle's a little bit far, so why don't we just sit here and wait for that other team that's going to be coming towards us, and let's just camp them out, and we'll get the points and go into the circle later. Like, that must be extremely difficult to deal with for HQA side.
Yeah, I mean, I could even see why, because, you know, any movement that you take on Sandhawk, like, the chances of you running into another team are just so high. So if they might as well just stay and take the fight that they know is going to happen,
Exactly.
that's going to look so much more appealing. We know by taking a look at this view that they could totally disengage and they could get all the way into boot camp, or even on the other side of that hill right there to the eastern side. Like, they could get into this zone and potentially play towards the end, but then they'd have to be waiting for HQA to come from behind. So there's a little bit of a back and forth on these decision makings. So why not just make sure that they're destroyed a little bit earlier rather than later when you don't quite know where they're going to be coming from. I'm glad that we're taking a look at Ace of Spades. Looks like Nova is getting really close to them as well, because it's Nova and Ace of Spades now that they're really kind of fighting each other for the top spots right below APHELION for a while now. And it looks like, oh, Ticket Nemesis has spotted out so many members of Nova, but he doesn't want to take the shots until he is well and ready. And Nova will be at their weakest point. All Ace of Spades, look at that. They're all looking that direction now.
You know, if they wait a little bit longer, Nova might think the hill is clear, and that'd be an easier elimination and confirmation. But meanwhile, on the other side of things, APHELION Esports getting involved. A nice DBS pump action by Clown will take down that THIRDEYE player. And this is APHELION getting the better end of the fight when I think THIRDEYE should have the advantage. If THIRDEYE had the compounds, which it does seem like they do, they should have been able to catch APHELION off guard and not the other way around.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's exactly what's happening. I mean, APHELION, they're mostly up on the northern side on top of these hills. Clown kind of stuck down right inside of that one building, as we can see from this view. I think that might have been what happened here. They started running on down, but THIRDEYE, unfortunately, one of them got caught out, but now APHELION, all of them are pushing. And THIRDEYE, they're very spread out in these compounds. 2 people across the road, and you can see that they're starting to take all the 1v1s here. First other teammate, now Jas, he's out of here. 2 are left, and they're just going to do the same thing. The rest of THIRDEYE even split up even more over there.
I feel like Trick should have gotten that second knock right there too, but his crouch made the bullets hit the side of the window right there. But APHELION Esports, they lose 2 members for taking this fight. So not the best of trades. They get 2 points, but lose 2 players. And I love that push earlier. One player opens the door from one side, but doesn't pop through. And then on the other side, the other player comes in. Definitely a nice little synergy push right there. And Peaceful, don't do it. Don't peek him. You're not going to win that. Any second now, I'm going to see Trick knock Peaceful in the elimination feed if he takes that peek.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, 19 Esports pushing close on to Angry Amateurs now. Firing off some shots, some nades going back and forth, and they will commit to this breach.
Oh man, that's the DBS was in fact scary, but it doesn't matter. It looks like both these teams going back and forth with these trades. Reppin trying to do something with his but he has to disengage. He run out of bullets, or maybe he realized that he was not at a good position now. Is it just him left over here for his team? Yeah, it is. It's just him versus the entirety of 19 Esports as they're getting all of these reses. They're about to reset on this almost entirely. Looks like the Knights from above are going to be helping out Reppin just a tiny bit, doing a little bit damage to 777, but they're so far away, and I kind of doubt that they're going to be running down this hill to fully get involved in this. But Reppin isn't moving far enough. You know 19 Esports, they're going to get together and make that push. Oh, it's delayed though. Yeah, MEZEXIS getting that knock. It looks like Angry Reppin might be alive for just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer. MEZEXIS coming in, trying to third party. Yeah, of course, with that zone shift, everybody kind of has to make a move to this area coming in from the eastern side. The circle is kind of in between Execute and the Knights. The Knights are going to have their work cut out for them, though, because that's a giant hillside that they have to cover, and they're playing very split to put up the pressure as early as possible onto everyone else, which I absolutely love. Reppin, last one up. 19 Esports still hunting for him. I don't think he could last much longer, but MEZEXIS gets another knock, a re-knock onto 19 Esports. You're going to need to play some smokes and get the revive once again, but that second knock is going to be the push for them. And Reppin, he's still right there next to them.
Yeah, he's going to be there for a little bit longer. Maybe he'll be able to peek on out and do something about it, but as a solo, he's probably just hoping that MEZEXIS is going to make this push and he might be forgotten about until later. But we'll see. Depends on the solo and how aggressive they want to go. Usually they pop out when it's most advantageous, but here we go. MEZEXIS making the push. Nice damage from 777. He actually gets knocked there from a nade that you hear throws, trying to go for some reses, but no, the Knights are getting involved. We were saying that they had a good angle up on top of that hill, and it looks like it actually comes into play. MEZEXIS is just inactive, and you hear left to take this fight against the rest of 19 Esports, and they're going to take a while to fully get the reses on the rest of them. So it could be a 2v3 for a bit, especially as one of the 19 Esports members is fully finished.
Yeah, 19 Esports just down to 2 now. Xenox, I think, that might just be the delayed elimination feed, but yeah, you're right. Xenox getting some shots into 19 Esports and just being a nuisance from distance. 19 Esports down to 2 players. MEZEXIS with 4. Does not look good for them right now. Unless if they can hit some lucky nades and maybe some close range shots. They are trapped inside that one building, and it looks like MEZEXIS is about to put the nail in the coffin for 1918. That flash bouncing off the wall, blinding himself for a split second.
Well, that is unfortunate. The push didn't fully come through when that happened, though. So MEZEXIS, they're taking this all by themselves.
What is going on?
A Molotov being tossed right in the middle of the room. That means the rest of them can't fully push into this. And 19 Esports, they only get a knock into one. But
God.
Mason,
MEZEXIS.
that didn't hurt him at all. MEZEXIS is out.
That was the most disorganized push I've ever seen. We saw 2 players run in, the third player throwing a Molotov at his teammate because their teammates are pushing in, and it was just so disorganized. I mean, that's how they lost that 4v2 right there. MEZEXIS, they deserve to get eliminated there. That was so ugly to see. A good defense out of 19 Esports. New zone pops up on the map. Spec, king of the world, king of the mountain, right there smack in the middle. And this is going to be tough. This is a lot of teams pressing in from all sides. And the Knights, well, I mean, that's a nice split. I think their idea is slowly converge together while slowing down and stalling as many teams as possible, forcing them to fight each other on the way in so that the Knights can have a better control of the circle. We'll see how it goes, though. The Sandhawk is notoriously difficult to control in a pocket of the zone. And holy Casper!
Wow. Well then, one nade gets 2, get 2 birds, 1 stone. There you go. That's going to be a nice flush for him. He's able to survive for a little bit longer and execute. They're not happy about that whatsoever. Only 2 of them now are left, and they're way up on top of the hill. No way! Illusion actually getting another knock. Going to tell you just 1 left. They were hoping to make that push work, because where else are they going to make a rotation to? Definitely their last member right now going for the res onto Telly. They might just back off of that and go for the compound a little bit further to the southern side. Otherwise, they're out in the open right on the side of that hill. You can even see from that view right there, all of Dope officially committing into that compound where that disgusting nade from Casper came into play. Like, that is theirs. There's no way that XQ is going to be able to make any other place towards it. Yeah, here we go. And we see them running towards the south. A little bit further than what I would have liked, though, because they're going to be running right towards Korean barbecue lovers for now.
Yeah, that nade was nasty, to say the least. 1 for 2. I'm glad we caught that when we did. On the other side of things, we have the hit list taking out 4 bros on the northeastern side. And I'm looking at the minimap, and the Knights are still continuing to hold that big split, so it's working out. The pressure they're putting out is slowing everyone down, and if anything, we might see them control the entirety of the south and eastern side of the zone on Sandhawk on top of that hill. We do have a 4-man team of Ace of Spades, though. But Koops, I love how he's using the nade here. Doesn't want to shoot to give away his position. And they still probably have no idea Koops is right here.
No, I kind of doubt it. I mean, that one down isn't even looking in his direction. That nade could
He's
have
waiting
come
for a
from
revive.
anywhere. Definitely. Yeah, definitely baiting him as of right now. It doesn't look like Blinky is looking his direction, so there's no knowledge there. I don't think the rest of Ace feel like they can go get him, though, because of who is that up there? One of the other Knights members right on top. And it doesn't matter. Coops is going to take it. He got impatient. He stands up. He's going to be able to go on ahead, get a knock, the flushes onto these guys. And there's 2 Ace members left. The zone did move away from them, though. So they could no longer continue to be the kings of the hills, as you put it earlier, and continue to push people out because they have to get rid of Ace. And then they're going to be one of the ones fighting for that in position. There's still 11 teams left alive. That's a lot.
Coops right now running around with 5 eliminations. Just what a nasty player. And it looks like they are going to decide to take shots. Xenox goes down and gets confirmed. That is not good. The Knights really need 4 players up to fight into this next zone that you see. But they'll be picking up points at least. And Coops, that's another one. I don't think they could get the revive there. So Coops should be able to confirm the point. They might go for the revive just to deny the point altogether. No, he's going to pass off the first aid. Coops will get that point. That's another elimination point for Coops. They will have to go into the circle. They don't have to fight into the zone because they do have control of the eastern side, but they're only gonna have 3 players now instead of the 4 going into the late game of Sandhog.
To be fair, the only team that actually has 4 is Dope as of right now, and they're at the very top of this. Ooh, yeah, they're at the very top of the circle. There we go, right beside the hit list that we were just spectating. Illusion starting to make the big push forward. He has 2 nades in his inventory. He was about to toss 1, but it looks like he's going to take a little bit of damage here. Chair going down in this situation. Looks like Dope wants to go ahead and take over that position, but they'd be running down into a bowl to take that fight, and I don't think that they want to commit to that. I feel like they'd rather stay up on top of the hill, especially with this new shift, but Arsh is going to find himself knocked because, oh yeah, Dope is just going to wait because they're now in a big fight with APHELION, and it looks like there's another solo up there from the Chosen. They're found out. Fishy gets that.
APHELION. Trick gets that revive onto Clown. Clown and Trick. It seems like whenever this team plays a 2-2, Trick and Clown are together, and they are working really well right now. Just dismantling the hit list slowly, one by one. APHELION Esports with 2 players still putting in work. Zone has shifted once again, kind of in favor of the Knights. It more so goes into the middle of no man's land.
Ooh.
Execute getting roughed up on the southern side by Korean barbecue lovers. We still have, it says 9 teams, but most of those teams are just solos out in the blue trying to first aid. Trick back and forth, gets pieced up, makes it into the shack. We'll get off that first aid. And the Knights right now being uncontested, full control of their side of the zone, not being pressured whatsoever, looking really strong. Maybe they don't even need that 4th player as well. If you take a look at the top right of the mini-map, it looks like they have full control of the entire circle.
I was gonna say, like, maybe this would be helpful towards Dope, but right now they have 2 people knocked, and Knights, they're the ones that are running everywhere inside the zone as of right now. They know exactly where the rest of APHELION is. Look at that, Specs trying to make the first shot towards them. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite hit, but Tenza is there to get the knock onto one of them. That means 1 left. The push towards Dope is also underway. They're making sure to continue to put pressure on them, but the Trick's gonna do no way! 2 of them goes down. I think it's just 1 person left. Coops does get a double knock.
11?
Dope. Yeah,
What's
he
that?
got a double knock on a Dope.
He had 10 eliminations, and I think he just got 2 more off of the... Coops, by himself, goes off to 1v3 Dope, while his teammate both gets knocked, and he's gonna run back and revive both of his... This man does it all.
They're gonna win, look.
He does it all. I will one-man army Dope. You guys just try and survive APHELION. Oh, you guys both got knocked? No problem. I'll go clean up Dope and run back and get the full reset on the team. Coops, absolute madman. Absolute mad lad of a player. This guy, I think he's going to be MVP by the end of the day. Like, overall MVP. He was like 10 eliminations behind Trick coming into today. Well, he has 10 off this game alone, and he might pick up a few more.
Well, now there's all 3 of them back up. The Knights strong once again, and there's only 2 solos inside of this zone. Look at that. Both of them going down at the same exact time. Illusion getting the elimination onto APHELION, and then the Knights cleaning that up. And guess who's in second? It is Nova. Koi, of course, getting that 2nd place once again. oh man, we were saying that Nova was really the only threat for the Knights to potentially get that second or first place position, and here we are in the exact position that we were kind of expecting. Knights gonna get that first place, Koi gonna get that second.
Coops has 10 out of the 15 eliminations for his team. This, oh my god. I feel like,
That's just
and every
a few.
time we play Sandhog, I feel like Koi just does a cameo at the end. Like, it's just like a, you know, like when you watch like a Marvel movie, there's the hidden scene.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's Koi right here. Sandhawk cameo by Nova, second place. But yeah, I like what you pointed out. You know, Pittsburgh Knights and Nova. Pittsburgh Knights second overall, Nova third overall, and hey, if Nova, if you're not gonna fight for first place, Knights are gonna get it, and that's exactly what they do here. Coops, my man, this guy just he's gotten, I believe we had a graphic at some point, I think day 2, right? He had 3 NA MVPs under his title, and he's looking to get the 4th. I think he's right on track to getting the 4th, because the only challenge he has right now is Trick, right? And APHELION had a 75-point lead, meaning Trick should, in theory, be able to get a lot of elimination points because the team overall is doing so well. But Coops, as a single player right now, just bringing it right back. And we're gonna be right back after we check out these highlights and go to the analyst desk.
And here comes the Knights. 15 eliminations. There's our boys. There they are. Man, all the way from the bottom of the second page a couple days ago to now up to the top. Let's take a look at these match rankings here. What a crazy way to finish, Sandhawk. And just like the way, right, the Knights, 30 points. 30 points, Sandstorm.
Yeah.
I also
just gonna
called
say.
Nova's second place finish. I called it.
I mean, look,
Tough call.
it's just it is what it is. It is what it is. If there's a Sandhawk map, Nova's got it. That's it. Koi is just going to be the man for the job. But PK, Pittsburgh Knights, this is the second 30-plus point game for themselves throughout the day. After getting themselves 20 eliminations earlier on, and now they managed to get another 15 with a winner-winner chicken dinner. And especially with APHELION, they managed to get 13 points. So PK, they're starting to close the gap here bit by bit. Good to see, honestly, Dope Esports as well showing up towards the end of day 4. Maybe that might help them out towards the beginning of the end when it comes to week 1 for PMPL NA. Going down a little bit towards the leaderboard, HQA, again, 6 points for themselves. KBBQ Lovers as well. Those 4 points, not too bad considering that they got 23 in the previous one and 19, I believe, in the one before that as well. But when we go down, it's just going to get very, very hard for the likes of Most Wanted, Angry Amateurs with only 1 point each in this game. Seems like it's kind of done and dusted for them when it comes to the top 12, I think, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, GG. Honestly, it's not point really kind of chatting about them for now. Hopefully, we'll see next week. Maybe they can try and get some points up on the board, but they're going to have to make a miracle happen because their performance here, not something to really be impressed by. Got to say what it is, right? Let's take a look at the overall leaderboards and see where everybody's standing up after this crazy day of matches. People have been swinging up and down and up and down. APHELION Esports still up on top, but here comes the Knights, 7.
Here comes the Knights. It's right. And guess what? They've been able to close the gap. It is still, we got to give APHELION Esports some credit here.
Oh, yeah.
APHELION Esports 52-point gap to second place. Keep in mind, for the longest time, it was the Panthers there in that second place. Tonight, the Knights said, you know what, we're going to make second place, and we're going to continue to just closing that gap down to APHELION. 52 points, that is massive. And what's crazier for me is that you can actually see the Knights are currently outperforming APHELION Esports when it comes to elimination points. They're being able to get 6 more elims in APHELION Esports. So tomorrow, I mean, first place might not just be guaranteed, okay? The way Knights is performing, and I did call it. We didn't see them on that Sandhawk performance, but I knew they were up to something. And Nova Esports continue to be steady with that heel strat. I know Chief-Fan looking at this on his viewer party is going to be so happy with this team there being in third place. The Panthers continue to drop off, but we did at least see more points from them today, which is great to see. Then we see SPADES, WALLSTREETBETS had an amazing day, 139 points. But I want to go to that second page, because that second page, it's going to be telling us a lot, and it's going to be telling us who needs to step it up in a big way tomorrow. I mean, remember, only the top 12 teams. I know we say this over and over again, but we have to, ladies and gentlemen. It is a new format. Some people might just be tuning in, which if you are, please mark up the calendars when we're going to be live. We need all those viewers. Share the stream. Hashtag PMPLNA. Look at that. 12 points. I mean, 12 plays, 101 points. And if you compare all the way down to 16 and maybe that 17, 18, and 19 plays too, I feel like some of these teams, definitely from 13th place all the way down to 17th place, they can make a push in just one game and push up to that 12th place, Sandstorm.
Yeah, definitely. Back to back, looking at you in 16th place. Not that much between you and that top 12 spot. Meanwhile, when we go and look towards the bottom 3, Angry Amateurs, 4 Bros, Most Wanted, unless we see a performance like APHELION in day 3, or like PK in day 4, it's going to be quite impossible for them to fight for the top 12 spots. And of course, join us for the first time ever when we're going to be jumping into Livik. And that is something that I'm very excited for. And I cannot wait to see how those teams are going to be showing up on that new map there, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, all right, boys. I'll say one thing, right? Yeah, getting top 12 is great. But every single one of these teams with this new format needs to be playing this last day coming up like it is the finals, because each placement point matters big time, because that is more bonus points going into the finals. So if you could just, even if you're in 5th place, 6th place, they need to be going all out just to get a little bit higher to get some more bonus points here coming up. And man, yeah, top 12 getting more chance to get points with that Livik match. So much to cover here. Let's see who's gonna get that MVP here of the day.
I don't
it's
know.
Coops. It's gotta be.
Come on.
The dude, because it's so, okay, let me just reiterate how insane their performance was. They were down on APHELION Esports 90 points. 90 points. And now, yeah, they still have a gap, but they played the same amount of matches with only 4. They have caught up by 40. They've closed that gap over 40 points in 4 matches. And APHELION played. That's insane.
I mean, what else can we say about that? And you know why? Most of it, and we got to be honest here, a lot of it has to do because of this, man. Especially in that last match. I think he ended up with something like 11 eliminations in one match. What? Some of those some players wish they could get that in 4 days, in 2 days. Coops out here doing it on a game-lit basis, on a daily basis. Yesterday, he was able to win MVP with 17 eliminations. Today, he say, hold my Monster energy drink. I'm about to put out 22 eliminations, 3,438 damage, which is just absolutely ridiculous, the performance that this player is being able to do. And what's crazy is he was able to get 5 more eliminations with just 100 more damage dealt than yesterday on his MVP performance. That is just Coops doing Coops things, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, that is monstrous. Because if you think about it, 4 games, if you get 10 points a game, that's a great performance, right? That's 40 points. That's a great day. But the Knights had to do 80 to catch up just to APHELION. That is insanity. So a huge game for the Knights. That's what we've been waiting on, boys. Way to go there. Of course, let's give a big thank you to none other than Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner here. unleash the beast just like the way the Knights did today. And of course, guys, make sure that you're using that hashtag PMPLNA, please. Anytime you're using a tweet, Instagram post, tag us, at us. It really helps out this whole show in general. The more people watching, the more stuff that can be given away, the better these things get. So appreciate you guys for watching and, of course, spreading that love. Again, I'm Hot Chooks here with the Seven Worlds Gaming and Sandstorm. Guys, we will catch y'all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Mark your calendars. We'll see you then. Pow. Pow, pow.
Don't you know you gotta mean one? Gotta find a good thing, have a little fun. And you know you gotta lock it down. Gotta save a little something for the next round. Don't you know you gotta mean one? Gotta find a good thing, have a little fun. And you know you gotta lock it down. Gotta save a little something for the next round. Gonna give you just a little more. The brother's coming in through the outdoors. Doesn't even know what the beat's for. Gotta get your freaky body on the dance floor.
I've been waiting here for a little while. Keep me on my toes, 'cause that's just his style. Baby, can you make your move? 'Cause we don't have forever. Baby, I could take your pain and turn it into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. As time goes by, my love grows stronger. Can you feel it the same way I do? As time goes by, I can't wait any longer. Just say that you'll be with me too. Just say that you'll be, say that you'll be. I'd be there for you whenever you need me. Whenever you need me. But you've been holding back. Maybe you're just not ready. Baby, do you feel the same? Or do you feel the pressure? I promise I can take your pain and turn it into pleasure. As time goes by, my love grows
deep minds, we were forced to be alone. Unknown